Strangers with Scandal. Opie and Anthony on satellite radio. Host Anthony Camilla and Greg Opie. Opie and Anthony apologizing for yet another raunchy comment. Profanity was harassed. Is this the last straw for the raunchy radio duo?
Our show is stupid.
This is so irresponsible.
This should be illegal. It really should be. It's like, it's so unethical.
God, I hate fucking radio.
This could be the worst audio ever.
Shut up. Shut your fucking mouth. This is terrible.
We just suck all around.
I hope you show restraint in fucking my girlfriend.
This stinks. Fucking shut the fuck up. We get it. Get it.
But enough of this palaver. Let's get the show on the road.
We're already laughing. What happened? What did I miss?
There's all kinds of shenanigans that go on before the
But
program.
what happened? I want to be in on the laugh.
It was the whole Eric thing coming in with the Larry King material.
Oh, really?
As if he just thought of it.
Yeah.
And came in, and then Opie had called out E-Rock. And the fact that he indeed was told to bring it in by Travis.
Yeah, Travis and I had a little conversation. Travis is like, you want some Larry King clips because Larry King is retiring after 80 years of broadcasting.
80.
And so I go, yeah, could you tell E-Rock to get some, some of the great Larry King clips that we've played over the years. We're going to have a little retrospective today.
He said some really dumb things, and we wanted that.
So then dumb E-Rock comes in and makes believe that
dumb E-Rock.
he was planning on bringing this in the entire time. I'm like, you just got caught. Me and Travis were talking about this. I said, Travis, go tell E-Rock.
So as they're having the discussion, me and Sam were just going back and forth right in front of Eric, just going, oh, he just got so nailed. Like he wasn't in the room. Did you see it? I was like, did you see that? And Sam's like, yeah, that was really embarrassing for E-Rock. We were doing a play-by-play.
Did Travis tell you?
Yes, he did.
So then why we...
I said, hey, Eric, can you get, like, the best Larry King clips? And he goes, oh, they want that? I was like, yeah.
Oh. So, and then he came in like, yeah, I got these.
Yeah.
And then Opie called him out, and he goes, no, I was getting these. It's like, no, we're getting them because Travis told you
right.
to.
And then I just told E-Rock, if Larry King is retiring, that's very obvious that we're going to want a lot of Larry King clips today.
E-Rock,
yeah, I know, here they are. I'm like, no, you had to be told.
Comment, E-Rock, comment.
Oh, you guys covered it pretty well.
You're right.
It's so great when people just get thrown under the fucking bus on this show.
Did you even think that we might be playing Larry King clips today?
Not at that time. No.
Yeah. Why would you?
Sam's pointing and laughing at him now.
We have 8 TVs on, and 2 or 3 of them already have Larry King's big fat fucking face on it. So I guess it's not a big story today.
Been there too long, face.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I'm leaving. How important is the light bright set behind me? He's done.
All right, E-Rock.
Much too late. Hi, Jimmy.
Hey, buddy.
You were really hoping for a laugh there, weren't you? It was
more an observation.
It was a smart joke, to be honest. But I don't think a lot of these dummies would even watch Larry King.
I always thought his background looked like a light bright.
And you were correct.
It was in the realm of
funny,
clever.
but correct.
Some things just are.
Hey, really fast, congratulations to Louie C.K., man. I checked my Twitter this morning and fucking people digging the new show that debuted last night on FX. Hopefully a lot of people checked it out. But, wow, nothing but really positive reviews coming in on the old matter of fact, look at this. Jimmy James. Let's just do it really fast. Jimmy James, you represent the entire Opie and Anthony audience because we can't spend too much time on this. What do you got, JJ?
Morning, boys. Hey, that was fantastic last night. There's finally something that fits my humor on TV. There was so many cringe-inducing moments, and it was just great. The scene with Bobby, oh my God, everyone has that friend with.
See, he is truly representing the callers.
It figures. Well, I mean, Bob Kelly had a great scene. Jimmy had a great scene around the poker table with the guys just shooting the shit. It was good. It was great, man. Louis C.K. is well on his way with this new show. So.
Very good.
Yeah. Hey, Ope, in yesterday's Boston Herald, this faggot TV critic trashed Rescue Me and Louie. His name is Mark Perigard. I think we all should find out what his idea of comedy is, seeing that this faggot is such an expert. Serious inquiries only.
Well, the
See what he
Boston
likes.
Herald, of course.
Well-
I mean, those certain papers are so predictable.
One of the papers in New York didn't give Louis a great review, but then if you know the guy who wrote the review, you go, oh, that's why. David Hinckley.
Yeah.
David Hinckley is a bit out of touch when it comes to what's funny, what's happening in pop culture. He even wrote in the review, Louis supposedly does some stand-up at a local comedy club, and that's something you could just look up, and you would realize that Caroline's and the Cellar are huge comedy clubs in New York City. You know, New York City, the place you write for. So,
What a dummy.
it's Hinckley.
Yeah.
He used to. I guess he still writes the radio column, but it's Hinckley.
But there's nothing going on in radio to write about anymore.
Well,
Is that it?
Yeah, but he always found the obscure, weird shit to write about.
Yeah.
Some classical station.
It's
Still
just-
playing classical music. He has to dedicate a whole column to that.
There used to be stories you could write about some kind of outrageous thing that happened, or firings, or
he
different
didn't-
management, or just anything.
Right.
And now there's just nothing left.
But half the shit we got involved with, he barely touched on.
I know.
Because he was too busy talking about some local radio guy that was going to be at a state fair in the middle of nowhere, Jersey.
Or a whole weekend of Frank Sinatra.
Exactly.
It's going to be played on some
Exactly.
oldie station.
He had to represent the only people that were reading his column.
Yeah,
that was
true.
why he would go with that. They were the
That
only
was
ones
his
who
demo.
cared about what he said.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
It's terrible.
I guess our audience wouldn't be searching out a David Hinckley article on
No.
radio. You know what? You're right, Jimmy. But Louis, he's happy with the reviews because he put up a little YouTube video to promote the fact that his show was starting last night. Did you see the YouTube video?
No, I didn't.
Where he's thanking
I didn't
people,
catch
thanking
that.
some of the big critics that gave him positive reviews, thanking the fans, and here we go, very excited. And he's in front of a swimming pool. And then at the end of it, he just gets up. He's fully clothed with shoes and everything, and just walks into the pool and just keeps walking until he just disappears. Can you find that, Danny, really
What
fast?
is wrong with that guy?
You can just play the end of it. Louis C.K. Put up a video on YouTube.
YouTube. Yeah, that good old YouTube. Gotta love it.
Did you see the show last night, Ant?
No, I didn't. I was outside
At 11 o'clock at night.
I was still like outside. It's just so I never want to leave the yard. It's just great. I got tiki torches all lit. Looks like
Nice.
my whole backyard's on fire.
Nice.
It's like a controlled fire.
Well, it looks like your face is on fire. And now that I'm seeing it from this angle, it looks like it's only the right side. Did you fall asleep on your...
No,
Jimmy,
it's
is this-
there. You gotta
Yeah, I
keep
guess you're right.
lighting. I was laying on my
You
back.
look a little redder.
Oh, yeah, I got kind of a burn there.
Right.
A kind of a burn. Whose house is that Louis is
He
at?
made believe he was in Honduras on vacation, and he's like, no, I'm just in shitty New York, upstate New York.
Oh,
Publication. So thank you very much.
it's nice.
Watch the show Tuesdays on FX at 11 o'clock and 11:30. 2 episodes every week. That's it from me. Thank you very much.
So he did this in front of a swimming pool, camera right in his face, and then he just gets up and just walks into the pool with his sneakers and his jeans, his belt, his watch, his sunglasses.
Bird tweeting in the
bird
background.
tweeting, and just walks all the way into the deep end until he completely disappears.
A lunatic.
So you can check that out for
pretty
yourself.
good.
It's on YouTube. Louis FX Tuesdays at 11 and 11:30. Louis C.K. You'll find it. Well, that's it, and it just fades out as he's gone.
Gone in the pool.
Yeah, in the deep end. What's the name of the show? It's just called Louie on FX.
Yeah. Catch Louis. Man.
I didn't sleep at all last night, and you would say, well, that's something that happens when you're a new father, right?
Yeah.
I didn't sleep at all last night because I woke up in the middle of the night because my girl was gagging. So I woke up like, what the hell?
Right.
What the hell is that about, right?
Yeah.
And she was gagging because my gas was so horrendous
Oh, my God.
that she was gagging so bad that it woke me up from a deep sleep. I'm like, you're kidding me, right? She actually like makes noises like she's got like something. I was fucking embarrassed. I didn't know I was farting like that in my sleep. I was so embarrassed.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, then go sleep somewhere else. Why are you waking me up? I didn't even know I was farting.
You having nightmares that you're in a gas chamber or something?
I don't know
like
what
that?
the fuck it was.
Maybe.
She dreamt that she was being chased by a shit monster. She's like, what is this?
What else did I hear? Just
Wow.
disgusting sounds come. I'm like, what? She goes, it smells horrendous in here. I'm like, well, I didn't know. I was out cold.
You should be a slave.
And then I had to go, oh, well, I had a lot of chili yesterday. The chili was really good. So I might be a little punchy today. Because then it's tough to get back to sleep.
Through the embarrassment.
Yeah, I was embarrassed.
Yeah.
Not only am I not embarrassed when those happen, I try to jostle it so the sheets lift and it wafts over, but I can't get blamed for it.
A little wafting.
Yeah, I look like the old shoulder roll on the sheet, so it bubbles a little bit and
And then fluffs out.
like a nice glacier.
Yeah, Kevin from Connecticut. That's when you blame the baby. Unfortunately, the baby doesn't smell yet. I mean, fortunately, I should say. Thank God it doesn't smell yet.
Should have said like that was the first day. Like, wow,
Yeah.
baby's finally stinking.
Yeah, we got a new milestone. The baby shit smells. Not yet, though.
I just laid in bed. I went to bed at a reasonable hour, 12:30, 1.
Just laid there.
Wide awake.
Isn't that the worst?
Oh, it's fucking horrible.
Especially when you know you're tired. You know you're tired. You're like, just fucking fall asleep.
I was writing, and I'm like, sometimes you sit in front of the computer.
You weren't
before.
writing. You're not a writer.
I was, though.
I learned that yesterday from that guy. You're not a writer.
I was just putting a bunch of letters. It really didn't make sense. I was writing, Jim is pretty, Jim is funny, Jim is smart. Positive affirmations.
Yes, feeling good about yourself.
I wrote on the Twitter yesterday that I really loved the Dan segment, and people like getting mad at me because when I write I love the Dan segment, then these idiots, these fucking pea brains, these simpletons think that means that I agreed with Dan.
No,
you idiot. No,
Dan was a buffoon.
I loved listening to him argue, you guys arguing back.
Yeah, Dr. Steve liked it.
Me instigating. It was a whole thing, and then the listeners fighting with the guy. That's why I loved it. It was just great radio, man.
I found out part of the problem with getting up is now, Kenny calls me.
Aww.
Kenny calls me every morning to awaken me.
Aww.
And I was having a bit of a problem because my sound was this for my alarm.
Crickets. And that's it? Does it keep going though?
Yeah, it'll keep going for a little while.
I hate to tell you this. That would wake me up.
Yeah, that would wake you up.
Yeah.
I'm
the lightest sleeper in the world, though. That's my fucking problem.
Here's the alarm I have been using forever.
I can only imagine. Go ahead. Yeah, that's the one I thought it would be.
That's the one.
No one wants to be woken up with that sound.
I used this one forever. And then I realized that my alarm was that little tick, 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 tick. I sleep right through that shit.
See, that's all it would take to wake me up. But see, you didn't have a mother checking to see if you're still breathing when you were 17 years old.
No, I didn't.
17, Bob. 17. I think my lungs are working fine at 17. Don't have to check to see if I'm breathing.
No.
Because now that I'm a bit older, I'm still a light sleeper.
I think you were
because of that.
Past the point of SIDS.
Yeah, exactly.
At 17.
Exactly.
Yeah. But that was a huge problem. And I finally realized it. I was like, let me check and see what sound is coming out of my alarm because I'm not hearing this fucking thing.
But doesn't that thing keep going? Or does it end after a while?
It'll end.
Okay.
And that ding, 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 that'll just be like music playing.
Sure.
That's like I'll play music in the background when I go to sleep, or I'll have a show on or something like that.
That'll just blend into.
And that'll blend right in, and I will not fucking.
Yeah. Do people realize that you sleep with the TV on and not at a low volume?
That's pretty loud.
That's pretty strange. I'm thinking. I don't think that is normal.
No, a lot of people do.
You think a lot of people?
Yeah, I think a lot of people sleep with the TV on.
God, I can't do that. I have to have everything like fucking.
No, I don't like complete
tightened
silence
up, quiet.
and darkness and shit like that. I like the TV, the flickering little TV light and stuff. And then I like waking up every so often. You pop one eye open and just go, what is that? What is that? And then you fall back asleep.
Right.
Or you don't sometimes. I watched the whole thing on that Life Alert thing. Infomercial.
Why?
Because
just because it was on?
It's like funny. There's this old bag, and they've actually now it's a registered trademark that they have on there. It says I've fallen and I can't get up with the little R in the circle. It's like they've taken that as their.
So what? They're gonna sue people that use that phrase?
Yeah, they could.
Oh, that's wonderful.
But then it wasn't just about people that were sick. See, there were people laying in bed, this old couple, and it's all like there's little vignettes are going on. They're actors, bad actors, but they're actors, and these burglars come in downstairs, and of course, again, 2 white burglars with the hoods on and stuff, and they come in, and the guy hits his life alert. And then the little unit next to his bed, it starts talking to him and shit. Like,
Hello, are you okay?
he goes, I think there's someone in my house.
Oh, Jesus.
He goes,
Okay, sir. Lock your door, and I'll listen in.
so he turns up the amplifier, and he's listening, and he hears like clink, clink, things clinking around. And then he just out of nowhere goes,
This is Life Alert. We are alerted that you are in the house. Leave immediately. Leave immediately.
he like starts yelling at the burglars, and they just leave the house.
No,
Instead of just smashing the unit
exactly.
and killing the people upstairs for ratting.
Is it at least a live voice, or is that some
Yeah, it's
kind
a
of
live voice. The guy's a bit like
computerized voice?
It was like, leave now, leave now. Like, no, and then the dumb fake white burglars just like leave.
They should be armed.
Yeah, they would shot that place apart.
I think
Just do the whole fucking village.
I think all old people should be armed.
Well, he goes, and then they have the actor talking like he's being interviewed, but he's an actor.
Oh, really?
And he's like, I knew I was too old to face them. Thank God for Life Alert. Ugh. And then they call you, and it's like,
Mrs. Johnson, there's smoke coming from your kitchen.
just wakes her up out of a sound sleep. She's like, and she's like, and she fucking gets out of the house. Like they're just helping people out. And then there's the famous "I've fallen and I can't get up."
Yeah.
But they changed it. It's some lady and she's laying on the floor, twisted, and she goes, "I've fallen off a ladder and I can't get up."
What the hell is she doing on a ladder?
I don't know. Probably trying to hang herself like fucking Brooks.
They updated it. A jigaboo knocked me down, and I can't get up.
Can I interrupt this fine comedy?
I just love those.
To point to my favorite thing the news does.
Fat B-roll.
Fat B-roll is happening on Local 5 here in New York City.
Obesity rates jump in 28 states.
28 states, and they're just showing a B-roll of fatties.
Fatties. They do it from the neck down, so they don't show the face.
So they don't get sued, I guess.
Yeah.
So you don't know who these fat people are.
Yeah, you don't have to get permission. They don't have to sign a little release or anything. So you see it all the time whenever they do fat stories.
Yeah.
Just big fat people. And you know some people like, hey, I got those pants.
Wait a minute. That's wait a minute. Shit. I'm a TV star today, but I can't tell anyone.
Can't tell anyone I was on the news.
During the fat B-roll?
I was fat B-roll guy on the news.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Wow. What's wrong with this one?
I think she was
The news is just a waste of time. I know we've been preaching this for years, but it's just a waste of fucking time, especially the local news.
Now they're saying those toning shoes that everybody's wearing don't work and may cause injuries.
Well,
oh my God, a lot of people are wearing them. They're like, they rock back and forth kind of a thing.
I brag about mine. I wear mine every once in a while. But I was going through some back rehab, and they said that's the worst thing for the back, these type of shoes. But man, when you're walking a lot, it's the greatest thing ever. You never feel like tired. You know when you stand around for too long and your legs start kind of just feeling tired and
standing around
with these dumb rocking shoes, you don't get that feeling anymore.
They do look.
And you know what? William
silly.
Shatner had those on too.
Shatner had those?
Me, William Shatner, and Brother Weeze. What's the problem there?
I think Kramer was wearing those in an episode of of Seinfeld, those giant cross-training shoes. That's the great. And he went to the dentist, and his face is numb, and then people thought he was retarded and invited him to see the Velvet Fog.
Let me go to Chris on Long Island. Chris, go ahead. This guy very angry. Chris.
Hey, Chris.
I'm very angry. I'm just lingering longer, apparently.
Okay.
Who the hell is chili in 90-degree weather?
Yeah, I don't know why Anthony or Jimmy didn't pick up on the fact that I'm eating chili and it's close to 100 degrees outside.
Doesn't matter to me. I never understood the food/weather thing in my fucking life because houses have air conditioning. Houses have air conditioning, and it's just fun. It's just fun. Okay. They have air conditioning. Shut up. Hold on.
Yeah, hold on. We're answering your question, sir.
Like I was never growing up. I was never able to have that wonderful stew that Mom used to make with all the beef in it and vegetables and just stewy goodness, because it was summer. And that was a winter food. It's like, well, we got the air conditioner on, and we're inside.
It's not called,
I want stew.
It's not called a winter food. It's called comfort food.
Comfort food?
If you're in the business, yeah. See,
What
I'm
business?
in the business.
What business do
I'm a restaurant owner.
Oh!
Remember?
I forgot about that, yeah.
I may be a silent owner, but I do know a thing or two about restaurants.
Oh.
See, in the winter, you put a lot of comfort foods on the menu.
Yeah.
And you'll notice that customers will search out the comfort foods. Your mac and cheese, your pastas, your stewy stews.
Stewy stew.
Yes.
Wow.
Heavy foods.
Heavy food, hearty foods.
Just think carbohydrates.
And in the summer, it's more lighter fare.
Correctamundo.
Yeah, like any examples of summery food?
I don't know. I haven't been to the restaurant in a while.
I have no idea.
I have no idea. I don't know. Trying to raise a kid right now.
I have no idea.
Well, the restaurant's in good hands with my brother Brett.
Well, good.
Sorry, Chris. Yeah, 90 degrees eating the chili. But you know what? Then I followed it up with some tuna sushi. So I'm sure the mixture in my belly wasn't really that good.
Wow.
He's laughing.
Kazowie.
You're finally getting a good night's sleep.
Right.
With a little board, and you're going to ruin it with some shitty diet.
Yeah. Wasabi, like just a sesame crusted like tuna, but raw, Anthony. Raw.
Yeah,
Chopping that shit up, eating that after the
Good
chili.
stuff.
Yeah. So.
Did you have peaches and guacamole?
Peaches and guacamole.
What do we have here? The building blocks of shishi. Shishi meat, peaches, and guacamole.
And guacamole. Steve Brule
rules.
He just rules.
Hey, a guy trying to beat me up here, Anthony. Back rehab. Opie, you have never worked in your life. When you moved, you didn't have furniture to worry about. Well, see, you don't really listen to the show. Now, I did work for a living, and I had a job that fucking destroyed my fucking back. I was a caddy from the age of 12 to 26.
Caddy.
12 to 26. There were times I was carrying close to 70 pounds on my back for 18 holes. It destroyed my back. Yeah. It wasn't a traditional, blue collar type of job, but I worked my balls off.
Your balls are gone?
My balls are completely gone. And my fucking back is a little fucked up because of that. Because a 12-year-old should not be carrying 50-pound bags.
Did you win the caddy tournament?
No. My brother did, though.
Yeah?
My brother did win the caddy tournament. He got shit for it, too. The other thing, Alex Jones, I just want to mention. Very confused by some of the feedback we got on Alex Jones on my Twitter. Like, a guy that actually I kind of like on Twitter, just beating the shit out of all of us.
For what?
He's an idiot.
You know what? DB Central TX, that's his Twitter name.
Wow.
He writes, "Good job mocking Alex today." And we all got the same exact tweet because Ant read the same one to me this morning.
Yeah.
DB Central TX, I'm disappointed in you. And you owe us all an apology because he writes, "Good job mocking Alex today. Too bad you're too ignorant to realize you're the very people the NWO
New World Order
hates. Keep sucking Murdoch's ass. Nerd."
Rupert Murdoch.
I smashed him and blocked him. He's a cunt.
I blocked him, too.
He's a cunt.
Yeah, here's a guy who came out of nowhere because he's been nothing but supportive of all of us on the Twitter. But You're too stupid to understand that we weren't mocking Alex Jones. We were having a
discussion
and a debate. We weren't just buying everything Alex Jones said at face value. We were questioning a lot of shit that he brought up on our show yesterday.
Yeah, we debated the guy, and I think he got treated extremely well. He even said during it, he goes, and you're being very kind. He knew as a radio guy, he was getting a lot of airtime, and that even when we disagreed with him, we weren't fucking attacking him. If anything, he was over-talking me when I was trying to talk to him, but I didn't even get angry at that.
That's his gig, dude.
Right. We didn't.
So fuck you to the guy in Texas who wrote that on Twitter. You're a jizzbag.
Not even close to mocking the guy.
No.
Not even close. Just because you don't agree with someone doesn't mean you're mocking them.
You're with the NWO. Oh, shut up, pussy. Shut up.
New World Order, man.
But to say we were mocking him, that's bad,
It's
man.
a dummy. It's a dummy.
It was a very good segment yesterday.
Yeah.
It was a lot of discussion going on, a lot of debating going on. Got people to think a little bit. But to say we mocked him, I can't even tell you how off you're on.
That annoyed me too.
How off you are with your tweet. That's ridiculous.
Well, he's blocked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might have to block you too, brother.
It was just, it's so annoying.
I can't, be going back and forth with simpletons. That just drives me nuts.
If the guy had said, "Well, you guys mocking Alex," I would have actually responded, "No, we weren't. He was actually a cool guy. I didn't agree with him, but he was a cool dude."
Not even close.
What a dumb motherfucker.
The only thing we might have said at the end, that we sort of said at the end, was he had the same voice as like Mancow, Bubba the Love Sponge. There's a radio voice out there that these guys do and pick up.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Oh, see, E-Rock didn't give me the fucking montage. So forget it.
What happened there?
Well, there is a montage of all the guys talking, and it's really confused. Oh, no, he did. I'm sorry. I apologize to E-Rock. Okay.
So what? He finally gave you something. You don't know an apology.
Here's the montage I'm talking about, and Alex Jones, I believe, is in here as one of the voices. This is about 5 or 6 different radio guys, not one guy.
And I don't like when people call me Todd Clem because that's not my name. My name's Bubba the Love Sponge Clem. I had it legally changed.
It's like it's 101, the ongoing on-air adult education course that teaches men how to get more tail for less money.
You never want to come on after a show that was popular, and I understand that. And I never wanted to do it. I never, ever, and it was offered to me at one point, and I don't want to do it. I didn't want to do it.
Oh, a great movie. You don't know what you're talking about. Cinematic masterpiece. You have no idea what you're doing.
If I was a hot chick, I'd be the same way. It's like, I'm not paying for anything for you, dude. I'm hot. There's a bunch of dudes that can pay stuff for me.
That's why it's asinine, the controlled corporate press claiming that we didn't own guns in the colonies and that most people didn't have guns. Everybody owned guns. It was a frontier nation. We just had massive wars with the French.
Snoop Dogg's real name is Calvin Brodus. You hate him now, right? Huh? That's funny. That's not funny. They're not funny.
Oh, that description
That's
is
awesome.
even terrible.
All the guys we hate in one montage.
That's great.
What a bunch of douchebags.
I could barely distinguish
every single
who they
one
were.
of them. Yeah, you're really doing something original radio. We're mocking you guys. You picked up the typical radio voice, and then you just sit there and make believe you're doing like original radio. Go fuck yourselves.
How funny
fuck
was
you,
that
Mancow, by the way, because now I have to deal with that shit again.
What?
No one offered him Howard Stern's fucking slot.
Oh no, never.
You fucking loser.
Not funny.
I know that clip's
great was that?
I know that clip's many years old, but it still bothers me because that guy just lied through his teeth half the time he was on the radio.
Liar.
Fucking idiot.
Everyone knows he's lied.
We knew all the players, and they all came to us and said we would never hire Mancow to take over for Howard. It wasn't even a thought.
Do you think Turd really drove that car into the wall?
Turd.
Turd, what are you up to now? 60 miles an hour, Turd? There he goes. He's going into a wall, and the airbag's going to go off.
You know, why imitate it when we
sound
could
effects.
actually play it for everybody,
It's
Anthony?
so
Why would you imitate it?
Utterly bad.
Do you got the Turd clip, Travis?
So
Turd?
phony. Turd?
Oh, that's all you got? You don't have the long form?
Yeah, that's all I have, Eric.
That's all?
I think.
That's fine. We don't have to go down that road.
E-Rock will come in with it and claim that he was just going through things and thought you might want this.
Turd?
Crap. I got into a great Twitter war last night.
Yeah?
Yeah, mine always turn like racist. But, what do you expect? They just do. Yeah, a couple of cops down there in Florida.
Oh, right.
Got shot.
Tampa Bay, right?
Yeah, shot and killed. by they were doing a traffic stop. The guy had warrants. It was a male and a female in the vehicle. They were getting the guy and put their hands on him, I guess, to arrest him. One of the cops actually called for backup, and the second one showed up. And this gentleman spins around and shoots both of the cops and kills them.
Wow.
Kills both of these cops, hops in the car, and just leaves.
Was this video?
I'm not sure if there's dashboard cam video. None's been released. I don't think they would release.
How did two cops get caught like that?
Here's what I'm suspecting happened, and this is where it turns into a racist argument, and people call me racist and everything. I'm thinking they saw the two occupants of the vehicle, a male and female black couple, and instead of thinking for their own safety, they were thinking, let me not offend these people by profiling them and using certain precautions that I might have to use for a guy that has warrants out, because I don't want to lose my fucking job when this asshole says that I treated him unfairly because he's a black man. That was my kind of, just my thoughts on the topic because of what's happened of late. And so instead of thinking of their safety, they're thinking of treating him like a gentleman with respect. And they get shot in the face, both of them, for their troubles. This fucking animal behavior has got to stop. And then another cop shot in the back in Chester, Pennsylvania, which is just a wonderful place. 75% black community over there. They are under what amounts to martial law right now for the past week. They've been under martial law. There's a curfew enacted. Everyone's off the streets by 9 o'clock because there has been too many shootings and murders in this town. So this cop gets shot in the back. And it's just this, I was saying, it's this behavior that is unacceptable, yet completely accepted. No one wants to call it out that there is such a disproportionate number of black people pulling this kind of shit and killing police officers and, themselves. There's plenty of black on black crime. That's why the cops are in these neighborhoods. And I had one guy say, why don't you look at the cause of the problem, that it's society? Read a book on fucking, social behaviors and stuff. I just wrote, I don't give a fuck what the reason is at this point. We've gone too many years trying to figure out the reasoning. There's no fucking figuring it out anymore.
Root cause arguments, by the way, whenever someone makes a root cause argument about anything, whether it's about race or about a national country's behavior, it is always to vilify the person who has at that moment been victimized by somebody. It's always, if it's the U.S., they say, root cause, look at the root causes of terrorism. It's always to vilify Israel. Or if it's to look at the root causes, it's never to go, hey, look, that's shitty behavior. It's to vilify white people or the cops.
Why is it, too, that society has such power with black people that it completely clears their brain of right and wrong? Is that what this guy was telling me when he was saying it's society-based, it's this thing that's just been perpetuated and stuff? So what you're saying, what he was telling me was black people have no sense of right and wrong and will just continue shooting police officers and each other because they have no sense of right or wrong. And then when I presented with that argument, he calls me an idiot and an asshole. Meanwhile, he was the one that was really bringing that up. And then another gentleman was arguing with me, more race-based stuff. And their points are just, it's like white guilt, not facing the actual problem, which, I could go on here and spout off what I believe the actual problem is and probably get fucking fired. Because
wait till the end of October.
Because I do have my theories. Which you could probably read in such books like The Bell Curve and other publications. So I do have my ideas as to why this happens. But you know something? Do something about. Get a leader. Get a fucking strong leader that can unite your people.
Well, they got Reverend
because
Al, bro.
Your people are broken. They're busted. They have to be fixed by somebody or something. Something's got to change within the community that doesn't involve Whitey coming in and trying to help or doing this, because cops are being fucking killed. And one guy says, he goes, well, they're not drafted. You know, they join the force of their own free will. So if things like this happen, if they want to be a hero, that's their problem. And I said, okay, then if they punch a pig in the fucking face, I don't want to hear it and see it on video and watch a cop being made to look like a bad guy because he popped some fucking douchebag cunt in the face on the news. All they showed was the clip of the cop punching that chick in the face. That could have absolutely ended with that cop dead with a bullet in his face. You never would have seen the clip. You never would have seen anything.
But she hit him. Didn't she shove him first? And then
of course
that's why she apologized. She actually apologized.
Yeah, of course. But, I mean, the news just pounded it and pounded it.
Yeah.
And then the description they gave of these two, the male and female, was not... they didn't say a black couple. They said they left in this kind of vehicle. They gave the color of the vehicle. They just keep race out of it when it's part of it. But it's part of it.
But in a police description especially, to exclude race, they name everything that's changeable. The one thing that is not changeable is race. It's like if you're looking for somebody who just shot cops, you should probably narrow it down.
You can narrow it down a lot by saying what race it is.
Gender and race are two things that height, something you can't fuck. You can't change.
Hair
if you're
color.
6'8", you can change that color though.
Yeah.
But you cannot change height or race or gender.
Yeah, and they just don't understand because it's not the police report. The police will always say black male, black female, whatever. But when the news gets a hold of that, they leave it out. I don't know why.
Listen, you got DJ in Queens, a black guy.
All right.
DJ, what's up, brother?
Thanks for the intro. Wow.
Well, you know what? The only reason I say that is because it's important to the discussion. When we're just shooting the shit, it doesn't matter. That's all. I'm sorry.
I think people could figure it out.
Well, listen.
Jesus,
I'm
Anthony.
an avid listener to your program.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, sir.
And it's hard to listen, to be honest with you, because it seems to be quite a bit of, I think...
Of factual statistics?
No.
All right.
Don't try to peg me.
Okay.
I don't. That's one thing. Yeah, it seems like you have a habit of saying black this, black that.
Yep.
And I try to deracialize some of this stuff.
All right.
Because it's more about behavior.
How do you deracialize? Great word, by the way. Deracialize. How do you do that when these cops are constantly being shot by black males during traffic stops, interrupting burglaries, serving warrants? How do I deracialize that when all I'm seeing is that?
Wait, why can't you? I mean, what you're talking about, you can't talk about the behavior. The behavior has to be inextricably connected to the color of a person's skin.
It's not the color of skin. Skin color has nothing to do with it.
You constantly bring it up.
Skin color has nothing to do with it. It's a fucking cultural problem. There is a problem in the culture that is allowing a disproportionate amount of black people involved in violent crime. It has nothing to do with skin color. Indians, like I said, there are some Indians from India that are blacker than African Americans. The skin color has nothing to do with it. I'm spitting.
Hold on, sir. Anthony actually drooled as he said that.
I was spitting.
Spit flew out of his mouth. It's like I'm watching a man unravel.
It's completely.
Well, can I clue you into something?
Yes, sure thing, DJ.
A lot of it has to do with, in my estimation, some whites not being able to discern between different types of black people. That's the part. See, I am afflicted with the same thing you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So you and I are on the same page on a lot of this stuff.
Okay.
What I do not like is when someone may look at me and try to peg me in a certain way, think that I am of a certain political persuasion, that I listen to a certain type of music. You're talking about a culture now. Let's really get into this.
Yeah.
You're talking about a culture now that is being commodified. All right.
What does that mean? I don't know what that means.
It means the culture has been made into a commodity.
Okay.
You're talking about a culture of failure that's being sold down our throats. Like your channel is lovely, right? But you have 20 different rock stations. Why not have a black rock station? Because black rock is on there.
Where's Earl?
You have to start seeing different images of black people so you can discern between them. Because I don't want to be caught up with the nonsense that you're talking about, because it exists.
Well, then you should be so fucking angry about the fact that every time you turn the news on and see a suspect, you can completely peg what race the suspect is based on the crime. And 99% of the time be right.
You're ascribing to tribalism. And I see the reverse of it all the time from a white perspective. When you talk about, for instance, you talked about Obama. Mm-hmm. This is somewhat of a tangent, but related. When you talk about Obama, and look at how many black people, 90% of the black folks voted for Obama and that kind of thing. Well, you had 43 other presidents that were white that were voted for white people. White people are able to for instance, if Obama was able to have a black vice president, that would have been an issue for white people. But white people can choose white vice presidents all day long. There's no thought about it. So you need to start inverting some of what you're saying.
Well, here's the issue I had with black people voting for Obama was the fact that he was black. It was not based on anything but race. It wasn't based on his platform. A lot of them, I saw interviews, they didn't even know what his platform was. They were just happy to have a black guy in there as president.
No.
Yeah.
You've had other black folks that have voted for that were also running in the past, and they didn't get that kind of thing. He was the right black person that black people felt comfortable with, and also
any black person running for president under a serious ticket, not when Jesse Jackson was trying to run. I mean, he was a serious Democratic ticket, picked him up, not an independent. You would have gotten the black vote because of race. Just based on race.
Wait, but black folks vote like 90% Democratic anyway.
Yeah, I know. I understand.
Okay, listen, I'm a conservative.
But they were dragging people. They were dragging people in to vote that had never voted before. That only voted because he was black.
Well, why don't you explain this for the other 43 presidents where whites have voted for other white people?
Because that's been the only viable.
He could not even choose a black or a brown running mate because it would have been offensive.
It was the only viable ticket.
On the other side, you don't see it on the other side that it's normal for you.
But there were only white people running. We don't think of it as race. I wasn't voting for presidents. I wasn't voting for presidents based on the fact that, oh, he's white. Let me vote for him. And they were only white candidates.
Anthony, you don't have to think that. We don't have to think that way. You don't have to think that way. So you think about the world as if there's ultimate parity.
You don't have to think that way either. How about assimilating to the whole country and being an American and taking this whole have to embrace a fucking culture and throwing it out the fucking window? How about you just assimilate to this country and the way this country runs and fucking not shoot cops and not fucking sling dope and fucking not have complete neighborhoods in disarray, falling apart, where cops are called constantly and then shot at when they show up? How about that shit?
Well, listen, I'm not here to make excuses. I'm not into victimization. I'm not into so don't try to pin me as if I'm trying to make excuses for people.
I'm not. I just said you based on you.
All I'm saying is I'm not some victimization liberal.
I'm not saying that, DJ. You're making a very good point. You're very intelligent. I understand, and I like this debate. It's very good. It's not just emotionally based. Well, on my part,
the
it is
guy
a little
raised
bit.
a good point about ultimate parity, though. Is that how you said it?
Well, ultimate parity. In other words, when Anthony speaks, he talks about things as if, well, there's black and white. Well, why is it that black people can why do they have BET and this kind of thing? And why is it black entertainment television or white entertainment television?
I never really get on that whole thing. To tell you the truth, I don't.
You don't have to call it white entertainment television because you have CBS for that. You have NBC for that. You have the Senate for that. You're talking as if the world has always been based on disparity. There's no such thing as parity.
You don't think there are other minorities in this country that have assimilated to society and are productive members of society and not a disproportionate amount of burden
on our society. There is I'm not saying everybody here. I'm saying it's a disproportionate amount of violent crime in the black community. It shouldn't be there.
Okay, I'm not disputing it. I'm not one of these guys who make excuses. You're all right. That you are talking about a disproportionate amount of crime. That is correct. All I'm saying is that some of this would be ameliorated if you would stop having a culture that's being thrown down our throats, where you're talking about the rap music. All this stuff is causing a certain type of malaise, or it's exacerbating it. And there is a corporatized thing going on, because I deal with this. When you go to a bookstore, when you want to see, if you go to the black section, everything now is it has like a ghetto theme to it now.
Yeah.
So really, you're really talking about. See, if you were able to see, okay, in your world, I'm gonna put it this way. You see all these different types of depictions as normal. In my world, I'm seeing a ghettoized thing that's supposed to define me.
So you get annoyed, you mentioned black rock, you get annoyed as a black guy that people look at you and don't automatically think hey, maybe this guy likes rock music, or maybe this guy likes other things. They look at you and think he likes this music and that's it, and that's who he is.
Well, I'll give you an example. I was working at one of my friends, right? He's an officer, by the way, police officer. And I went to this place to get a radio fixed. And I don't think I looked I'm very conscious of my appearance, because I think that way. And the salesperson comes up to me, and he goes through this whole thing. "What's up, my brother?" My friend looks at me. My friend says to me, he said, "Listen, doesn't he know you have 2 degrees?" I said, and I said, "Listen, I'm not going to jump down this guy's throat. I just let it pass." But I said, just on sight, he didn't think I spoke the King's English. I don't know what was going on.
That's like a bad sitcom scene.
Yeah, really, exactly. Unbelievable.
And let me tell you, I'm not one of these guys. I'm always talking about this thing that's being pushed on our throats as a collective, as to how we're supposed to act and think. And I think some of this would be shunted if you started to see different depictions, people doing different things. Where, okay, this guy's doing this guy's doing that. So it's normal. Because now, again, because I do a little bit of radio myself on the internet. That's a separate thing. Because I'm trying to make it where people say, okay, this guy's talking a little differently.
Where can people check your show out?
It's called Afro Nerd Radio.
Afro what?
It's called that way for a purpose. AfroNerdRadio.com. And I talk about conservative politics, that black folks were conservative, by and large, many years ago. And there's a certain way we're supposed to think, and now the culture and the corporate culture also buys into that. If I go to a store and say, "Well, you guys don't listen to rock." A few days ago in Brooklyn, you had this thing called Afro Punk. It's a big underground black rock thing that has 40,000 black and brown kids on skateboards. So not the stereotype. MTV covered it for a second. That's it. Okay. Again, you're not getting multiple depictions, so people can say, so blacks and whites can say, okay, wait a minute, he's not who I thought he was.
So you're saying if the media showed only white skateboarders and surfers and that mentality, after X amount of years, white people would go, we don't all fucking surf and we don't all skateboard and talk like a bunch of vapid assholes. I see what you're saying. I mean, I definitely understand what you're saying.
I mean, listen, again, when I go to these stores, it's being thrown down. I mean, I have problems with other black folks who try to pin me, saying, "Well, why are you conservative?" So, well, why not? Why can't I be?
Yeah.
It's like it's a textbook for black thought. So it's a singular textbook, and that's it.
I understand where you're coming from with that, but I started this just talking about crime and that disproportionate number of violent crime in the black community that is getting, it's so out of hand and you can't mention it. It's this it's right in your face, yet if you talk about it, I'm called a racist. But it's what I'm seeing. What's that?
I'll give you another clue.
By the way, a lot of black people are conservative, not in a Republican Democrat way. They vote Democrat because that serves blacks a lot better than Republicans. But most black people go to church. They're very fucking anti-gay marriage and gay. They're much more conservative than typically
DL.
liberal. Well, yeah, I'm the DL. I mean, many of us. I mean, many of them.
I'll tell you something else you might not have thought of.
Yeah.
We don't know. Do we know who the Asian leader is? Do we know who the Hispanic leader is? But you sure enough know who, pre-Obama, you know who the black leader is, or leaders. Whether it's Jesse Jackson or Reverend Sharpton, they're president, co-president, they interchange every so often.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, you're specifically given a leader. Nobody else has a leader, but we have a leader.
Well, these guys step up, and all they do is race bait and only take on these causes that are very racial. They never.
You know what? You need to start. I'm not saying you personally. The culture has to start to allow different voices, so you can say, okay, wait a minute, I didn't think of it that way. See, when I challenge black folks on black radio all the time, and you know what it is? They say the light bulb goes on. So, wait, I didn't think of it that way because you're not going to hear from me. You're not going to hear my perspective. You'll hear somebody else, some monosyllabic black person who can barely enunciate a word or something and get into this whole democratic diatribe. They will never allow, even on black radio, they will not allow me to speak this way. So you need to start allowing people, not letting Jesse Jackson, because the impression is he's the singular voice for 30 million black people. That's ludicrous. You start showing different voices, different political persuasions. Some of it will ameliorate. Right now, you're not getting it.
You know what those people are called, though? They're called Uncle Toms in the media by other black leaders like Reverend Al and Jesse Jackson. If anybody, you get a black Republican, and they show him on the news speaking. And, of course, he's an Uncle Tom. He's fucking kowtowing to the man, all that bullshit, because the black community doesn't want to see that. There doesn't want to be this uniting with the rest of the country. There is such a separatism between whites and blacks as they try to make it seem with commercials and TV shows that we're all hanging out at barbecues together and having a great old time. And meanwhile, it's such separatism. But again, that can't be spoken about, and it can't really be shown.
Wait, you and your Asian and black friend don't reach in and fight for the last glass of Sunny Delight?
No.
That's how it is how it is in my home. And then when we don't have it, the ethnic kids beat my mother over the head with the toaster. So where's the Sunny D, bitch?
Yes, DJ. Wrap up, please.
Okay, just quickly. When you talk about, you might be called an Uncle Tom or whatever, that's a very easy argument to dispel, because I'm quick to say, wait a minute. You're saying that Snoop Dogg or a Crip or any of these other black folks that their imagery, their minstrel type imagery doesn't come off as a Uncle Tom image. I'm the Uncle Tom because or Dr. Cosby, who brought up some of this stuff. He's the Uncle Tom, but the people who actually are responsible for the behavior, they get a pass. I even gave Imus a pass. You can't talk about Imus doing his thing for whatever he did when he talked about the Rutgers players.
Yeah.
But then give Snoop Dogg and his crew a 20-year pass for what they said about black women. See,
exactly. Yeah, I know. That's part of the argument, too.
Say that.
I understand. Like, don't get me wrong, DJ. I understand your side of this argument. I really do. But it just comes back again to what I initially was talking about with crime. I have no problem if people want to walk down the street with their ass hanging out. They brought that up. It's like, all right, you do, but you take up that cause. You do that. My issue is fucking rampant crime in the black community. It's beyond me. I don't know why people don't talk about it more, why people don't talk about how racially based it is, where it comes from. I don't want to hear social fucking ills that cause it. I just want a solution.
All I have to say is to stop selling us failure. Some of it would diminish. It doesn't help that you see the rap music buries it in the ground. The media buries it in the ground. You're talking about failure being sold to you.
So there's no concept when that's sold to somebody. It completely negates. I said negate. It completely negates the right and wrong in your mind. Like not you. I'm saying in a criminal's mind. It just that shit goes out the window.
No. Listen, I agree with you that I'm not going to try to make excuses for the disproportionate crime and what's going on. I will say this. I say that it afflicts people of color more so than white folks because I think you would see more of this stuff going on, more of an outcry if whites were afflicted by it more. When you make it seem as if you personally are being afflicted by this stuff, I'm the guy.
I have to. You know something? Let me tell you something. I'm affected and afflicted by this through other, not the same way you are, but in other ways I am. They're a financial burden. I have friends that are police officers that, you're constantly worrying about problems.
I have friends that are cops too, and they tell me the same thing. It is an issue. It is a disproportionate problem. You're talking about a segment of the black community. You're not talking about the black community in its entirety.
No, and but I'm talking about a disproportionately large number based on population. It just doesn't figure.
Again, some of this might diminish if you stop selling that image. Right now, you're talking about an image that just keeps on.
Who's selling it? Who's selling it?
The structure is selling it. There's no way to get around that. They're selling you the pants that are slung below your waist. They're selling you the music that keeps. The music has no positivity in it whatsoever. I've never seen it in my life like this. You go to the 70s, 60s, the music never talked about openly killing people, selling drugs. It wasn't doing it. What do you think that you're talking? It's called programming. You have programmers. Mm-hmm. Programming means what it means. You know about what happened in Germany. You talk about a
sure do
media assault that is essentially tantamount to programming, propaganda. Propaganda makes people their minds.
Well, this is sounding a little conspiracy based. I mean, it's sounding.
Listen, I'm not like the guy from yesterday.
No, I understand, but is this white people trying to put an image forth that will perpetuate crime in the black community? Is that it? How about people get together in these shitty neighborhoods and somehow try to build something positive there? Because the second someone tries, they're either killed or the place is fucking ransacked, or empowerment, self-empowerment in a neighborhood, not having like Harlem. They got people were up in arms that white businesses were coming in, buying up these landmarks in Harlem, building them, making them beautiful, and Harlem is undergoing a renaissance period. But how about black people get in there and fucking do it, and then have something to be proud of and not destroy and shit like that? How about that?
One thing, the guy you had on yesterday, Alex Jones. Although I couldn't handle him because he made me not want to leave the house after this guy. He used a term called learned helplessness. You guys need to look this up and see what learned helplessness means. Learned helplessness has a lot to do with what you're talking about. Literally, it defines itself. You're teaching people to fail. If you don't see any positive imagery, and you're talking about, again, a propagandized paradigm, what do you think is going to happen? White folks are able to see positive and negative. The entire spectrum is in their face. And our face is failure.
Well, how about keeping a family together? How about not knocking up like 12 different women? How about like looking inside your community and realizing there are huge problems that are perpetuating this generation after generation, and not just music and stuff. It's a lifestyle that I seriously would hope people are intelligent enough to realize this is the problem, this is the root cause of it, let's fix it.
Well, Anthony, I have a question for you.
Yes.
In 1950, black and white families, as far as having a dual family structure,
mm-hmm.
were on par with each other.
Uh-huh.
Something happened between, let's say, 1963, 64 to the present, where these numbers
civil rights movement. Yeah.
Okay. Now, there's something there. It wasn't always like this. You didn't always see this. Even when we were going through hell going through segregation, all these kind of things. But again, you're acting as if this is something that's always happened. You had even with all the crap we had to deal with, you still had 2-family homes. You had a father in the house. You had a lot of positivity going on. Something is going on now. This is why I get into a political thing, where I think a lot of it has to do with being a Democratic and that liberal mindset, and this whole thing, as I mentioned, learned helplessness. The government, as much as I like Obama image-wise, I don't necessarily agree with his politics, but I thought that we needed to see him there because, again, you had 43 presidents that were white.
I think
44 presidents and 44th. Now there's a problem.
I think a lot had to do with welfare and this just keeping this whole weakness and welfare state going, and I think that had a big problem with it. Yeah, I think we got to take a break.
Hey, DJ, where can people hear you again? Because you give your internet radio show plug. You do obviously price some pretty radio.
Do a good job.
Yeah, it's AfroNerdRadio.com.
Oh, Afro Nerd, N-E-R-D?
Afro Nerd.
Hey, listen, you chuckle on that. There's a reason I have to listen. Some of us would rather be called another N-word. I chose the nerd word.
That's cool.
That's all right.
Well, thanks
Afro
for the call,
Nerd
man.
Radio. Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot, DJ.
DJ in Queens. We'll take a break. A lot of people want in on this discussion.
Nothing lights the phones faster than race. It's amazing.
I know.
Holy
Because when you can
mackerel.
speak openly and honest about it in an open forum like this, people will respond.
You want
It's
Al
amazing.
real fast?
Yeah, might as well.
Al.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Listen.
What's up, Al?
I'm going to be real quick. I grew up in Brooklyn. I'm a black male from Haitian descent. I could have easily been a banger. I could have easily did this shit. But you know what? My mindset was gauged a different way. Now, when you generalize about the ghetto blacks, there's so many ghetto blacks that don't know the taste of real life. That's why they're running around, blowing each other up, knocking their girls up, and not paying any, child support and doing all this crazy shit. But in the reality of things, just take a moment in your life and realize who you are, and it's like self-worth. Knowing who you are and knowing what you can do and just going out and doing it.
It's hard to imagine. I'm just going to the basic human root of knowing right from wrong. I can't imagine that even the most hardcore gangbanger, whatever the fuck they've been through that got him there, doesn't understand, doesn't comprehend that there is consequence, that there is right and wrong when you pull a gun out and shoot a cop in the fucking face.
Most criminals, I'll say this, most crooks don't shoot cops. Even the mob. The only reason the mob didn't do it was because of the heat it brought. They were more organized than, say, some guy on parole or two fucking gangs shooting it out. The mob was, because they're typically older people in the mob, they were more organized, they had a business sense. But if shooting cops would not have brought the heat down and shut down businesses, the mob would have probably killed 50 times the amount of cops they killed. But it was simply a business decision. If we kill cops, more of them show up.
There's this knee-jerk emotional reaction to a man sitting in a vehicle. He has wants and warrants on himself, and the cops are going to bring him in, and he makes a conscious decision that I'm not going to let them take me to jail. I'm going to shoot them both in the head and kill them. He's got to know that isn't right.
Yeah.
I have to believe at least that.
Listen, I totally agree with you, but like I said, you're talking about people who have no self-worth, okay? The whole fact of the guy shooting the cop in the face because he's going to go back to jail means that he doesn't believe that his self has any worth in this planet. All he can do is continue to welch off the system. And, until he gets locked up again.
Well, then I can't.
Reverberating cycle. It's not. It never comes back to focus and reality for these people.
Well, unless something is done within the community, not Whitey helping or fucking government intervention or social programs, someone's got to wake the fuck up in the black community and really realize that there's a giant problem that is being perpetuated by generation after generation of the same mistakes being made over and over again that are just pumping out a horrible element.
I can't believe two cops got caught. Like, even with political correctness, and cops have to be polite now and have to do things to worry about.
I think that's a problem.
But two guys don't usually get caught like that, like making such.
I understand a glaring error there.
Right, but listen, look at it this way: you never hear like Haitian Americans or people that have come to this country and flourished, just like the Italian Americans, just like all these other people. My parents came here with nothing. They had nothing, and they made stuff, and they made sure that I knew that going this route would definitely end me in peril. And guess what? I kept my head on straight. I could have easily, I mean, I grew up in Brownsville, Brooklyn. I could have easily been a blood, banging with these guys, you know, like, but every day I went to school. I kept my head down, kept moving in the right direction. And that's exactly what a lot of people need to do, is separate themselves from that gang mentality.
And that's what I want to say also. I want it because I get shit for this all the time. I'm not generalizing. I'm not saying every black person is the example I'm using. I'm just saying there's a disproportionate number, and it really needs to be addressed. You know, great, good for you. I'm glad that you were able to get yourself out of that shit, and make a life for yourself. And I'm sure there are plenty of other people, black people that have done the same thing. I understand that. I just can't deal with this mindset and disproportionate number where shooting fucking police officers and killing each other over nothing is fine. It's got to be addressed.
Right.
It's got to be addressed.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I love your show, Jim. We'll try to come check you out at the Borgata.
Yeah, I wasn't going to mention that. I was trying to keep that quiet.
Over the weekend.
Friday, Saturday, I'll be there.
Yeah.
Thank you, buddy.
I like that Al now lives in Connecticut, by the way.
I know. He kept it real.
Al got the fuck out of Dodge.
He kept it real far from the hood.
Bridgeport, though. Bridgeport.
Worked his way up and decided to take that shit out of the ghetto and start somewhere else.
Dude, the show's been on for a fucking hour already?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. And we could keep going. Trust me, the phones are just lit. But we'll take a break here because we got lots of other things to do. Chris Russo coming by to say hi today. I think he needs our help today.
We also have another very cool guest who I'm pretty psyched about.
William Billy Hayes.
Billy Hayes, the real live guy who it was, his life was what Midnight Express, the film, was inspired by his life. It was him.
Billy! What has he got going on? A book or something?
It was a documentary. It came out on Locked Up Abroad.
Right.
The first episode is about his real being locked up abroad. And, oof, God, did he get fucked.
Bad.
Yeah.
Steve walks in today with that episode or whatever. He goes, "You want to see this?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, but the guy's coming in today. When am I needed to see this yesterday."
Yeah.
It'll be cool.
It was good. It was really. I did see it.
You checked it out, so we'll.
Yeah, he's a good interview. He's a smart dude. It was really good.
All right, man.
Very cool.
The Virus, Sirius XM. This is the Opie and Anthony Show.
What ripoff is this?
Yeah, that's why Travis is playing this.
Yes.
I guess this is the place to do what we were gonna do. Yeah, fucking Zeppelin being sued again. It's not looking good for my band. Grew up loving Zeppelin.
They've been broken up for how long? How could you keep suing this band?
Well, when you know the guys are all living in castles all over the world, and you're like a guy that never made it, and you know that they took one of your songs and made it into a monster.
A hit.
Who's suing them?
I don't know. In this case, a folk singer. Jake Holmes. You know, Jake Holmes.
Oh,
Jake Holmes.
Yeah.
Jake Holmes had a huge... What?
Jake Holmes. Yes. He wrote giant hit songs.
Jake Holmes' hair, I bet. Listen to music.
Not Jake Holmes. His hair, it's Jake Holmes.
Oh.
It's different, Chip. Chip's face when he gets so upset with me.
Before we play the new one, I want to play the biggest ripoff that Zeppelin had.
Oh, yeah.
These are all short clips. Don't worry. We're not going to play the whole fucking thing. But in 1968, a little band called Spirit. You know Spirit Ant?
Spirit, sure.
I think they did...
It's what you break on people.
I think they did I Got a Line on You. What the fuck?
I got a line on you, got a line on you, babe. I think Blackfoot covered that one later on.
Was it a Spirit song, though?
Yeah, Spirit.
Yeah, okay.
Oof, my joke bombed.
Oh, did it? Damn it.
Wow.
Gonna have to listen to the replay.
Boy, did it bomb.
Do they have it?
Okay. Give me 1 minute.
How will you find it? There's nothing to indicate it was a joke. Oh, my God. It was a verbal semicolon. Holy shit.
I gotta hear that. Yeah? Ready?
Okay.
Yeah. Let's hear.
No, you got to just give me a minute. Hang on.
Oh, poor Travis is losing his mind.
Yeah, come on, Travis.
Come on, Travis.
It's not that hard. It's not any more complicated than that.
Yeah, it's Dr. Steve Brule. No? Oh, maybe. It's taking
It
Travis
just
a lot
happened.
longer than
All right, if he
usual.
figures it out, that's fine. Back in 1968, the band Spirit. You got it now?
Oh, crap, that figures.
You know Spirit Ant?
Spirit, sure.
I think they did.
It's what you break on people.
I think they did. I Got a Line on You. What the fuck?
You hear. It's what you break on people.
That was a monumental fail.
Bomb. When you have to go, wow. Actual pain.
I didn't even get it. Ugh.
That stunk.
Oh, deservedly.
All right, so the band Spirit in 1968 had a song named Taurus that no one fucking cared about.
No.
Radio didn't do anything with this song. Yeah, that's all I know about it. I don't even know shit about this.
No one knows anything about it.
But it sounded like this.
Yeah.
You know, Zeppelin's biggest song.
Yeah.
Some people would argue the biggest rock song of all time.
Stairway.
Yeah. It kind of ripped off the riff from Spirit.
Yeah, listen to it.
It's the same fucking thing.
Oh.
And we have a lot of examples of Zeppelin kind of doing that, right?
Yeah.
But now we got a new one today. Jake Holmes. I don't know shit about Jake Holmes.
Jake Holmes.
Mm-hmm. Back in 1967, he had a song called Dazed and Confused.
But wait a minute. Isn't that a Led Zeppelin song?
It sure is, Anthony. It sure is.
What the fuck took him so long?
I know. What's wrong with Jake Holmes?
Jake Holmes, come on. What are you doing?
1957, you said?
1967.
Oh, 67.
67. And what year did Zeppelin put that song out?
I believe 1969.
All right, so he had 2 years to make it a hit on his own, and since he couldn't, Led Zeppelin decided, we can do this.
And then Jake decides 43 years later that he's pissed off.
What, did he just hear the song for the first time?
Now we know why Jake Holmes never made it in the music industry.
He's procrastinating.
Right.
He just got ears. He never had ears before. They were a gift.
He's not much of a go-getter, this Jake Holmes.
No.
If he's waiting 43 years to bring it to everyone's attention.
What an idiot.
But here's the original from Jake Holmes, 1967. A piece.
I'm dazed and confused as it stays ago. Am I being choosed? But I'd just like to know. Give me a clue as to where I am at. Feel like a mouse and you act like a cat.
Well.
All right, well, lyrics suck.
Yeah, the lyrics were a little rough. A mouse and a cat.
That's terrible.
And of course, Zeppelin, 1969, 2 years later.
Fucking thieves.
Been dazed and confused for so long, it's not true.
He used to sound great.
Wanted a woman, never bargained for you. Lots of people talking, few of them know. Soul of a woman was created below.
Jesus.
Zeppelin was fun to listen to, but God, most overrated band ever.
I'm dazed and confused as it stays ago.
God.
Am I being choosed? But I'd just like to know. Give me a clue as to where I am at. Feel like a mouse and you act like a cat.
That's fucking horrible.
He deserves to just go and fade into obscurity.
And a bunch of more cats jump out of your hat. Oh, shit. And they point at me and say, take that. The guy stinks.
His lyrics were a little rough.
Really awful.
But there was another band that did Dazed and Confused before Zeppelin as well.
Yeah?
Yeah, we go back to a band called, I don't even...
Mad Zeppelin.
Oh, wait, where are we going? Oh, never mind. It's the Yardbirds thing.
Oh, the Yardbirds.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, birds.
But the Yardbirds were sort of connected to Zeppelin, as a
Zeppelin.
lot of people know. So the new Yardbirds, blah, blah, blah.
Wow. That is, I think the guy's got a case, but Jesus.
Is he still alive?
Waited a little. Maybe it's, is his family taking
his
it
state?
up?
What's going on there? Let's say hi to Charles in Wilmington, North Carolina. Charles.
Hey, what's up, fellas?
Hey, man.
Check out Robert Johnson, you know, that old blues singer from 1935. I mean, he has Traveling Riverside Blues, and, like, half of his lyrics, unfortunately, were, like, ripped off from Led Zeppelin. I mean...
Yeah, Robert Johnson got spanked by Zeppelin, man.
Yeah. Those guys.
Robert Johnson got ripped off so much by Zeppelin.
What thieves they were! That really, great musicians. Plant was an amazing singer, but creatively they were shit.
Mm-hmm.
They really were the most overrated band in fucking history. God, I wish I would have known this shit in high school, having those Sabbath Zeppelin arguments. I just didn't know.
They would have been fucked if the internet was around back in the '60s, but. Or 70s.
I would have been able to jerk off a lot easier.
Absolutely. Zeppelin may have been fucked, but my stomach would have had a lot more potato pan flakes on it.
Potato pan flakes? What did you just say?
I'm tired. What am I supposed to say? Potato what?
Potato flakes.
Flakes.
Potato pan flakes. He said potato pan flakes.
Oh, pan flakes.
I'm tired.
I'm tired, too, because I didn't think about that one.
Little
sleepy.
boy.
Trucker Bob.
Hey, boys, what's up?
Hey, what's happening?
What up, Trucker Bob?
Hey, man, it's obvious that Jake Holmes is an 0-8 fan, man. He heard you guys doing his bet, a year ago? Decided he had a lawsuit, man. He owes you.
Jesus, he's in that voice.
Exactly.
Hey.
Do you always had a voice, or do you just yell at people all day, Bob?
That's his job.
Yeah, it's Bob screams.
By the way, Dan from yesterday.
Dan.
What an overeducated boob.
All right, thank you, sir. Do we know anything about Jake Holmes? Is there any info on this guy online?
Who is this motherfucker?
Why did he wait so fucking long? Just because I got the CD in front of me today. Black Waterside by Bert Jansch. Not many people knew who this Bert guy was, but he had this song.
All right.
Zeppelin fans already hear it.
What is this?
Morning I took the air down by Blackwater.
I don't really recognize that one.
Huh?
I'm not a big fan.
Black Mountainside.
Oh.
Zeppelin was a fucking cover band. They were a cover band
for unknown artists.
First ballot Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, their royalty. They were a fucking cover band. God, all you asshole music critics out there. All you asshole fucking music critics and writers.
They bought it hook, line, and sinker. Wow.
We could go with Howling Wolf.
Oh, another one?
Oh, there's a million of them.
Let's hear another one.
You've never
Let's hear another
Did you hear when we did this bit?
Yeah, but I don't remember it.
Okay.
I could listen to it all day.
I know. I really can. These are great.
Travis, Howling Wolf, Killing Floor.
Howling
we have to go
Wolf.
to Dillette for that.
Who's Dillette? Yo, Dillette.
Isn't it Dillette? Yo.
Yeah.
Travis
Travis is getting a workout today, motherfucker.
We had it in the old. We had it in the old system. How about? You don't have that. Oh, okay.
They tricked me because Howlin' Wolf isn't spelled.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares about your childhood of poor spelling.
Go ahead. Oh, shit, we might have to hear the whole thing to get to the part that Zeppelin ripped off.
This is not Zeppelin.
No.
This is like a typical bluesy riff thing.
Sure.
All right, we get it. And
doesn't sound like
kicking in now.
I should have quit you a long time ago. I should have quit you, babe. Long time ago.
And this sounds like something a black man would sing.
Yeah.
And went on to Mexico. If I had a follow.
Yeah. It's kind of bluesy.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's a blues song.
Fuck.
This guy just died in obscurity.
Yeah. Probably swollen ankles because his shoes didn't fit properly. Sitting on a rocking chair with a fucking bottle of bourbon in his hand. Fat ankles. One sock only. He probably had big fat ankles with his awful ashy ankles.
Yes.
His feet look like ham hocks with nuclear waste dumped on them. I stole that line, by the way. My friend Kenny, growing up, his brother Ron said that about him, and I just remembered it. He's a black dude, and his brother Ron said, "Damn, man, your feet look like ham hocks with nuclear waste on them." And I never forgot that until I just remembered it now.
See, the Lemon song, I don't know. That one didn't really...
not as blatant as some of the others.
No. Bob Levy wants in on this discussion. The Rev Bob Levy. What's up, Bob?
Hey, I think we send Joe Rogan after them to call them thieves, get them on stage, grab the mic, and go, "You fucking guys stole all these songs."
Yeah, Led Mencia.
Dude, they really have gotten a free pass.
Totally. This other song, I think it's called "Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You," was from a female singer. It's exactly like it.
Really? Do we have that one?
Do you have it? It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I love hearing rip-offs. I don't know why. I love hearing it.
You should have it, though. No, I got Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You, but it's then Green Day ripping it off a little bit in Brain Stew and Chicago.
Whole Zeppelin disc there? Because there should be a
Yeah.
Oh. It's basically all the blues singers and it's Zeppelin's first and second album that they totally took from people.
Fucking thief. I like that Jimmy just wanted to completely go back in time and use all this arguing with kids in school about Black Sabbath and Zeppelin.
But, dude, I would have the Zeppelin Sabbath argument, and you can't take anything away from Zeppelin. Phenomenal voice and great musicians, man. I mean, they were a great band.
Yeah.
But creatively and artistically, as far as conceptually, they were fucking thieves. They were There's like every band back. It was probably much more acceptable back then to take a riff or to take lyrics. Like I'm sure Sabbath. I'm sure every band did it on some level. But to this level is fucking sickening.
It's just stealing songs.
It's stealing. They stole their catalog.
And they came out at the same exact time. I think they both came out in '69.
Well, Bob, stay on the phone. I got one more really good one here.
Okay.
Baby, way down inside, woman, you need love. Way down inside, honey, you need it.
That is unbelievable.
And then this one. I Can't Quit You, Babe.
Oh, I can't quit you, baby. Oh, but I've got to put you down for a little while. I can't quit you, babe. So I'm gonna put you down.
Holy shit.
Let me ask you.
That was the great Willie Dixon, by the way, before...
Motherfucking Willie Dixon.
Yeah, motherfucking Willie Dixon.
Were they open about it, though? Because when you listen to Old Stones, the Old Stones have Under the Boardwalk, I think, on one of their first albums. Like, a lot of times back then, they would just do... And bands today will cover songs. Are these considered covers, or were they not being open about getting them from other bands?
I just don't know enough to answer that
They
question.
they were not being open about this.
It doesn't seem like they were, man.
It does, and they're huge hit songs that are known as Led Zeppelin songs.
There's no way Willie Nelson, or whatever that black guy's name was...
Willie Dixon.
Willie Nelson?
Willie Nelson.
Nelson.
Whatever that colored guy's was. But there's no way he actually ever opened for Led Zeppelin, any of these bands, because they would be going, what the fuck, you're playing the same song I just played.
Right.
It's totally a ripoff, and they did a lot more, and you'll find a lot more on the web. There's probably about 6 more songs that they've taken.
What's this Joan Baez doing, Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You, from 1962?
Oh, 1962. Oh, wow. This is new to me, man.
Yeah.
I hate Joan Baez, by the way.
I like her.
Never
Diamonds
liked
and
Joan.
Rust is great.
Oh, some of this shit. Sounds like a laser beam.
Oh.
Hate her. Wow, this is a complete ripoff, though.
Totally.
Hold on. Yeah, this is where it kicks in the Zeppelin. All right, now go.
Baby, I'm gonna leave you.
You could have changed it to winter time.
Sure.
Gonna leave in the winter.
Exactly. Or named a time, 8:20.
Leave you in the summertime. Leave you when the summer comes.
This must have made Joan Baez's giant bush just stand up on end.
Yeah, Bob Dylan poked his head out of it.
There you go.
Yeah.
I did not know that was a Joan Baez song. I had no idea on that one.
That's Led Zeppelin song.
Wow.
Zeppelin tune.
And I believe there's more. I believe there's more. From the first and second album, it's ridiculous. And did you guys, I think Whole Lot of Love was ripped off, too.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't know who from.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that was one of them, too. And these
Bobby, the original was called A Big Bunch of Love. It was some band, A Big Bunch of Love.
A big bunch.
Yeah.
Hey, Bobby.
Cunt, I'm going to leave you.
Whole Lot of Love was one of the examples we had from Willie Nixon.
Willie Dixon?
Willie Dixon.
Willie Nixon.
Willie Nixon.
No, that was my song. Led Zeppelin's ripping me off. Put Liddy on it.
Hey, we got info on Howling Wolf. Hold on one second. You're on. Well, Wayne's got info on Howling Wolf. Wayne.
Hey, good morning, boys.
Morning.
Hello.
Willie Dixon wrote a lot of songs for Howlin' Wolf and Muddy Waters, but Willie Dixon successfully sued Led Zeppelin for $1 million for that Killing Floor song. And if you've ever seen Cadillac Records, they get into it on that movie.
Cadillac Records. All right, that's something I got to check out now. Very interesting.
Hey, guys, would you give up $50 million for $1 million? I think I would.
Yeah, no kidding.
Steal all those fucking songs and fucking make. They made a fortune off those.
Yeah, a lousy million is all Willie got.
Yeah,
Howlin' Wolf,
sitting
sorry.
in a rocking chair in fucking Mississippi going, I got them, boys.
Yeah, as they're living in castles.
Exactly. But there's so much that they robbed. There's the whole first 2 albums, and those albums were brilliant. Like Norton said, how can you argue that with Sabbath? And those were the 2 big bands there, and Sabbath was amazing back then, and they really didn't take anything because it never came out that they did.
And they never got the the thing that bothers me is they never got the critical respect. And Zeppelin, look, again, should have gotten the credit for their gifts as musicians and a singer, but creatively, they should have been fucking like, look, they're doing cover songs. It's like a cover band
Interpretations.
Yes.
Because they didn't go with that mouse and cat fucking lyric.
Ugh.
They didn't get credit, Savage, because they were talking about the fucking devil, and everyone was afraid of them back then.
Yeah, working class, darker guys.
Yeah.
You know, but Zeppelin is just fucking, it's pathetic. But look, they paid people the money.
Right.
But it wasn't hardly any money from what they made, actually.
Wow.
There you go.
You know?
Yeah.
Good.
All right, Bob.
Good for them. Love you guys.
See you,
All right, Deb.
Where can people hear you now that you blew up your radio career?
You know what? I wouldn't say I blew it up, guys.
Dude, it's all jokes. It's jokes, my friend.
I know. I'm saying I told the truth. There's a difference. You can hear me on the Opie and Anthony show.
That's true. That's true.
Yes.
And you can hear me on Syndicate Radio on Monday and Tuesday nights, where I'm getting thousands of listeners on internet radio, and I'm making more money than I did at Stern. So it's great.
They just didn't treat you right over there, huh?
Hey, $100 a week. I thought it was fair.
What I found interesting, what the hell, we got you on the line. You had Norton on one of your shows over there, and you were told not to mention Opie and Anthony, right?
Yeah, we were told not to have him on after I invited him already.
Right.
And he already tweeted he was going on, and Tim goes, "You can't have him on there."
I wouldn't have had him on either, though.
Yes,
Well,
that was nothing to do with Stern, Opie, and Anthony. That was just my lack of radio talent.
Yeah, and then I know he was on the other night, and they're not allowed to mention my name at all on any of the stations. So Norton withdrew from Little Jeff. I was this comedian at this black club, swallowed a very big load, and
honestly, they didn't say anything to me like don't say his name. They were laughing about it. Like when I said they won't fire me. Like I was teasing Bob, but
sure.
they weren't being uncomfortable with it, and they didn't seem uncomfortable with it. They were like, fine. I had to address it because you weren't there, but they were fine with it.
It's just weird that I don't know. We're all one happy company, right? It's just strange that shit's
that's
still
what
going on.
my wife said on the show last night when she talked to Tim. She goes, "Isn't it one company?" And he goes, "Well, it is, but it's not."
You're being naive.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, it's ridiculous. It's one family. That's the way I took it as. When you guys came over, everybody was going to fucking just slam fucking regular radio, put it out of its misery. And then all of a sudden, I was the bad guy for going over to you guys, and
yeah.
then they're going, "I'll give you a plug back if you don't go on there." I mean, what is that?
You're stupid. I wouldn't have burnt that bridge. Jesus, what a dummy!
He goes, "Fuck it."
But I gotta be fair, and I gotta be honest too about what happened. Was when I wasn't gonna go on Miserable Men that time, I did call Tim. Because I know Tim saved me in a long time. And I'm like, dude, I'm not going to be an asshole on the show. I mean, I'm not going to avoid Opie and Anthony. But it's not like I'm going on to be it. And he goes, "Nah, I know, man." And we just talked for a little bit. He goes, "You know what?" He's like, "I just wish." He's like, "Hey, look, these are Howard's channels, and it's like you want to run by a guest like that, just out of respect, just run it by the guy."
Yeah.
He's like, he's never said he had a problem with you coming on. But then I talked to Tim, and he was like, "Yeah, you know what? I'm sure it'll be fine. Come on, you come on tonight." It worked out very quickly with the phone call. I mean, I got to be honest. He was very amenable on the phone.
Yeah, because I told him, I said, "You guys are going to look like fucking assholes if he doesn't come on." I go, "I invited him on already," and he tweeted it, and then he goes, "All right, put him on."
Because
you know
once
what I mean?
something's twittered, you can't pull out now.
That's
right. Let me tell you something. I'd rather burn a bridge with people like that fuck me. I don't give a shit. I'll make a living in this business, but I am not going to get stabbed in the back every fucking day I go to work.
Ooh.
So fuck that.
Wow.
And you guys know how it feels.
Well, we're more getting fucked in the ass, guys.
Yeah.
A stab in the back would be all right.
That'd be nice. Jizz on the back.
That would be a nice change.
I'm fucking one of you guys in the ass. Somebody can stab me in the back.
There you go. All right, Bob.
I love you guys,
See you, buddy.
Thanks. We'll have you in
man.
soon, brother. All right, Bob Levy. Rev Bob Levy on Twitter, I believe.
But Tim wasn't, I have to say that, because it really wasn't coming from some anti-O&A place. And I talked to him, and he was like, "No, I liked it. It wasn't some shitty place, and he wasn't difficult about it. It was fine. It was one phone call."
Dolly Parton looks weird.
Oh, that's...
She's wearing a wig, dude. It looks like a wig.
It's a weird color.
Yeah, it's yellow.
Like yellow, green, tinted.
It's like Tweety Bird.
And people go to Dollywood.
Well, yeah, man.
25 years of Dollywood.
pretty smart on her part, right?
Well, yeah.
Starting that
I
up 25 years ago.
Who would have thought you could just...
She's an old lady now.
Oh, yeah. But who the
Being
fuck
held
would
together
think
with all that plastic surgery.
you could just be a country music singer and build a fucking amusement park,
You know
and
what?
people go there in droves.
They just showed like a little bit of Dollywood.
Yeah.
It looks like a horrible place.
Doesn't
to
it just look like
visit.
an awful
Oh,
place
my
to
God.
go? People just keep coming to Dollywood.
I don't even know what I just saw.
Got to be Rubes. Rubes.
Hollywood looks awful.
That doesn't look like a fun place. I'm sure there's a theater there that people can go and see like horrible plays and musical acts.
Mike in Florida.
Mike.
Good evening.
This show is just silly sometimes.
Oh, let's check that one off. I got a checklist every morning.
Mike, good evening. 2 down.
That's exactly.
Yes, 3.
Hey, how many times this year you guys going to hit the subject of Led Zeppelin? I mean, come on. We get it.
As many fucking times we want.
Have we talked about it this year? What, one time, bro?
We haven't talked about it in a while, and guess what? It got the phones lit.
And we're on Stars 2, so they haven't heard us talk about it.
Maybe if you've heard something before, you're a listener that listens a lot. Maybe you could, just tune out, go somewhere else. There's plenty of entertainment on the platform, and then come back when we're done talking about it. Because you know what? It's not about you, douchebag.
Oh, Mike. Oh boy,
Well,
that's
it is. I mean, we pay our fees.
See, you're not the we. You're the one. You're just Mike. The we part is all the other listeners that haven't heard this. So you can check out for a little while and come back. The other we, don't speak for all the listeners. The other we part can listen and enjoy.
Well, why don't you guys talk about other things like Jimmy Norton at the Borgata?
No,
we're not going to allow that.
Mike, I am not going to allow you to say that Jim Norton will be at the Borgata July 2nd and 3rd. That's this coming weekend.
Not important.
Not important
pertinent.
at all.
Plus, he hung up.
Or the fact that I will also be there watching Jim Norton from
won't be
the
watching
blackjack
me.
table.
I'm gonna have to. I bet you fucking because Anthony's such a high roller. There might be like, hey, there's a high roller that wants you. Go stand in the pit and do your act.
Yes.
I really don't want to. That's kind of. He's got 60 G's on the table. Oh, hi, Ant. So it's funny about the oil spill. Just to humiliate me, make me tap dance like a faggot in front of the other gamblers.
Just wheel in a television for me with a closed circuit.
Do you know how
of
powerful?
Jimmy's show.
This is how powerful Anthony is at the Borgata. If he wanted me to go into his suite and do my dog shit act, he could have it arranged.
Oh, please do that.
They would make you.
They would make me
Why
do
aren't
it.
you doing that then?
Because I love Jimmy.
So?
I'd be embarrassed.
That's why you do it to him.
I wouldn't want to degrade
You
him.
do it to him because you
That
love
to
him so much.
himself.
Get a fucking HD flip rolling and make him do a one-man show for just you.
Well, no, I'd walk in the suite, but Ant wouldn't be there. It would be all black people. Be like me and like fucking like 25 young gangbanger thugs because they think it's fucking Cat Williams, but it's me. And then Anthony has fucking Keith the Cop film me getting my teeth knocked out.
Yes. Oh, the YouTube sensation that would be.
Sure would be. All right, another break, and let's get into some Larry King before Chris Mad Dog Russo. gets in
Larry
here.
King.
And some asshole in instant feedback. Joe, enough. Call the fucking show.
What's with Joe?
Enough.
What does Joe
What do you know,
want?
Joe?
Guys, having Mad Dog in to promote his contest, make sure you find out about how Francesa copied his exact contest just days after Dog announced he was doing it on Letterman. Doggy knows and is pissed. Make sure you ask about it. Oh, Joe, sorry. I thought it was...
you thought he was mad at us?
I thought you were another guy.
Oh.
I'm heating up.
Oh, you're getting all hot?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, Joe.
Are you sweating?
I actually, he's giving us really good info that
Yeah.
we could go with here. Fuck, Joe. I'm sorry. No, it's another guy saying that Mad Dog's having a contest to find like a sports talk host, sports talk show host, whatever. And that's the job Eastside Dave interviewed for.
Oh,
so this guy's really pissed that he's now having a contest instead of hiring Eastside Dave. So call the fucking show and we'll discuss it.
It's hard to believe that Russo wouldn't just hire a man who puts batteries in his hiney to do the co-host.
Maybe
Can't believe he wouldn't just jump on that.
maybe he's not what Mad Dog's looking for. I don't know. We love Eastside Dave.
Of
We would
course
love
we
to
do.
see him land on his feet, but maybe
Yes. Or even on his face.
Yeah.
Just land.
I mean, Mad Dog did the right thing, and they did, I believe, interview Eastside Dave, but maybe they've decided that he's not right for the position they got open. But you don't have to fucking send in instant feedback like 20 times about the same fucking thing.
Yay.
That will get you a ban, my friend.
Yay.
A ban. And you don't want that. All right, Larry King shit next.
Yes, Larry.
Sirius XM, the virus.
I can't believe anyone is still listening to this show.
You're listening to Opie and Anthony.
Oh, yeah.
You got Chris Russo coming in a few minutes from Mad Dog Radio. And then at 9 o'clock, William Billy Hayes in studio. Or is it just Billy Hayes? Why is it William Billy Hayes on the prep sheet?
Because his name is... Steve thinks if he puts more words, it's a better prep sheet.
he gets wordy.
Nothing.
It's probably just Billy Hayes,
Billy,
right?
I bet.
Steve is the master
of
at putting. Where's my copy of this? If I could look at putting words that don't really. Do we have the prep sheet for Billy Hayes? Maybe I'm writing on it.
What the one sheet?
No.
The one sheet is a two sheet.
Yes. He didn't make this up. I'm killing Steve. He didn't do this.
No, that's why he didn't realize it was the one sheet, because Jim thought he was holding a screenplay.
Yeah, there's actually a tremendous amount of words on it, but Steve did not do this, I don't think.
Okay. No. Well, what is he all about for the people? So they stay tuned, Jimmy.
Well, he was the guy from Midnight Express in the early 70s. He was arrested in Turkey.
Yeah.
And sent to...
That can't be...
No good.
No.
Oh, no.
And it's commonly known in the movie. But anyone who hasn't seen the movies, it's a Locked Up Abroad episode about the real Billy Hayes. There are differences in his life and in the film. But it's still the same general story, and it's...
Yeah, smuggling hash.
Hash. At a time when they were searching people on planes, because terrorism had just started on planes, they were searching for bombs.
Bombs, hijackers.
And they got the hash that way. Jesus.
Yeah. Found his hash. He had it taped to his body.
But he goes through the story. It's just a horrible... If you've seen the movie, it's a very famous movie.
Yeah.
There's they're on a bus going to the plane, and he said that had never happened before, and there were armed guards in front of the plane, and he was like, oh, boy.
I like to ask him a lot of stuff about if it really happened or was just in the movie, because in the movie there's that scene where he's on the bus and everybody's getting off the bus and he like hunkers down behind one of the seats and he's trying to get some of the hash off of him, and a guy just walks up and points a gun at him and goes, get off the bus.
I know the answer to that, but I won't spurl it.
Oh, you do you?
I want to ask him about the lovemaking scene with the guy with the flower.
Yes.
Was that true? Because I'm not gay, but that gave me a full rod. I like flowers.
Well, he should be a great interview today.
Did he bite out Rifki's tongue?
Yeah. Oh, my God. I should have watched Midnight. I forgot about Rifki.
I just recently watched it, yeah.
Okay. So we have time to watch it real quick?
With this stupid tape. Yeah, throw it on. Go ahead.
Well, we're not doing anything else today, right?
Long Island magician sent to prison for videotaping women and girls.
Jesus.
Oh, that's hilarious. As he came on them, he'd yell, ta-da. Made his weenie disappear.
What the fuck is this about?
In his modest Long Island home.
Look at his horrible hair.
I know, it's awful.
Holy shit.
It's like a bird's nest.
Wow, that's not good.
He looks like Harry Shearer.
Wow.
A little bit.
Gotta watch out.
And watch out for Catwoman. She's robbing banks.
Yeah, Catwoman. There's a woman with a cat mask.
Robbing.
And she's robbing
stores, not banks. Okay. She's doing this.
Look at the dumb wanted poster.
It's the worst cat mask.
It's horrible looking. Could they get a better artist?
It's probably what she looks like. You think? I think she's a black woman.
Yeah, I saw like
They showed a little fro.
But she wears a little cat mask. That makes it all fun.
Well, Larry King is retiring after 80 years of broadcasting.
I can't believe it.
80 fucking years.
We've always said he should just stay on and continue, because he's still got it.
Mm-hmm.
He's
still got it, all right.
Yes, dementia. He certainly does.
I'm glad CNN has finally seen it our way after all these years. Yeah. We've been yelling and screaming that they need to get rid of Larry King forever.
Worse.
It's certainly going to hurt our radio show, not having Larry to kick around.
I know. He was great for his interviews.
But it's time. Basically, his ratings fell horribly.
Yeah.
Like 50% down or something in the past year alone.
Everybody's beating
something
him.
like that, right?
Yeah.
So it's time to move on and get someone else in there. But Larry's stepping down. They're not firing him. Yeah. They're keeping him with CNN for projects.
Larry,
what projects?
That means they got to pay out his contract.
What's he going to do?
Exactly.
Sweep the floors.
Compare notes with June Allison about diapers. Nobody cares about him. Just fucking go home, watch your wife fuck some Spaniard. You dopey cuck. How important is prepping the bowl?
Let me get that for you.
How important is licking her juices out of his foreskin before he fucks your bottom?
I like downing a garlic with a cream pie. Larry.
What an awful treat.
Larry, a cream pie.
We got Larry King checking in. Larry!
Oh.
Yes, good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Larry.
Happy birthday, Jimmy.
Thank you, Mr. King.
Oh.
You guys read it wrong. I'm retarded.
Oh, you're not retiring.
Oh, retiring and retarded.
Oh, I see.
Larry. Oh, Chip Larry King.
Yeah, see, that's just going to ruin the whole Larry King bit.
Of course it will.
Anthony, a little look back. What do you think?
Yes.
I got all the good ones here in front of me. Which one you want to hear? We got the Motley Crue stuff. We got the skateboarder stuff. We got him talking about DNA. We got Jerry Seinfeld basically telling Larry he's not listening.
Oh, God.
We got the Snoop Dogg rapping with Larry King.
Oh, horribly embarrassing. I want to start out with the Motley Crue introduction.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Larry interviewed Motley Crue.
I think this is what got us going with Larry.
Yeah, because it made us realize how out of touch Larry had gotten and how silly he sounded and why Motley Crue was on his show. Just none of this made sense.
Why were they doing it?
Yeah, why were they even doing this Larry King thing?
Well, I want to start with the clip before the famous one. This is quick.
Nicky's not depressed, is he? You're not down, are you, Nick? You're up.
Hey, Larry, you got to come out and see one of these shows.
Yeah, you start in January. How long are you going to be in L.A.?
No, February. You and Tommy are going on tour in January.
Yeah, that's right. We headed up.
Do you understand what a filler question? How long you going to be in L.A.?
Yeah. He had nothing.
How about asking them about cleaning their dicks with tacos? That's what I want to hear about. Fucking asshole. So, did you or did you not give her hepatitis? Right. Fucking dope. How long are you going to be in L.A.? That's what I say to a comic when I bump into him in L.A. that I don't want to see.
Hey,
so how long are you in L.A.?
Not a good question if you're on CNN.
That means
around
I
the
have
world.
no interest in you whatsoever.
He knew nothing of Motley Crue. How does Larry King know anything about Motley Crue?
Ladies and gentlemen, here they come at the Palladium in Los Angeles. They're back together, their first live get-together in 5 years. The Motley Crue are back.
The Motley Crue.
A get-together. It was called a get-together.
No, that's when Frank Sinatra got together with some of his friends.
Their first get-together. The Motley Crue. The Motley Crue.
The Motley Crue.
We goof about that, putting a "the" in front, like, oh, yeah, the internets and things like that. The Twitter. Mm-hmm. He does it.
For real.
The Motley Crue.
Well, as we look back at Larry's great career,
yes, only taking some of the best moments.
Larry doesn't understand DNA.
Ron, do you expect everybody to have their DNAs taken? Do you expect we'll know truly because no one knows who the father is? Howard doesn't know. You can't know until you have a DNA. Do you think we'll find out, Ron?
We'll find out. I'm sure it's going to happen at some point.
The DNAs.
The DNAs.
Ladies and gentlemen, the DNAs. I love DNAs. It's mayonnaise and mustard put together. It's wonderful stuff. What? Oh, sorry.
Remember Jake Brown?
Jake Brown.
He was the skateboarder.
Oh, the skateboarder.
Now,
one of the best questions ever asked.
Before we get to that one, I want to play the first one here.
Yes.
Did you know you were in trouble?
Yeah. By the time I got to the top of the ramp, I knew I was in big trouble.
How badly were you hurt?
I think there was a lot of adrenaline at first because I wasn't really that hurt right away. I felt
What's your injuries now?
I got a fractured wrist, a fractured vertebrae, and bruised liver and lung.
How long have you been skateboarding?
Some crazy whiplash. About 20 years.
Why?
Oh, it's great fun. I mean, once I picked up the skateboard, it's all I ever wanted to do.
Why you skateboard? I don't get it.
Yeah, this is the kid that fell, what, like 50, 60 feet?
Yeah, he launched himself on that half pipe and
the large
came
ramp.
down. Yeah, came down on his fucking
pipe.
head.
Half
On
pipe.
his fucking head. Why skateboard? It's stupid. Get a car.
Do you wish people were born with wheels on their ankles? Would they get gout? Fucking dope.
He is a dope.
Boy, that's pretty great stuff.
Yeah.
How important is the board?
The board's one of the main things. The board, the shoes, the wheels.
How
It all
important
comes
is the
into
board?
play. You want to feel comfortable with your entire setup.
How important is the board in skateboarding?
Did you just stand on the wheels?
I mean, how important
Or maybe he meant the state of the audience.
And this is, what, a couple of years back already?
Oh, yeah.
This is where we were just saying, what the fuck is he still doing in that
The
seat?
Motley Crue, I think, goes back to before we were fired.
The Motley Crue.
I think that's like
2001 or so, right?
I think so.
That's a while ago.
And that's when we first took notice. Then you got, I mean, there's so many. Remember when Larry was talking to Denise Simpson?
Oh.
Nicole's sister,
Right,
obviously.
sister.
The one that was murdered, but he did this.
This confession about how he killed Ron and Nicole, and he worked hard thinking that he was going to make millions off of it. And we snatched it right out from under him.
Are you getting any money, Nicole, from this at all?
Denise, no, I'm not getting a dime.
Oh, I'm sorry. Your head is still attached. You're not dozing off on Bundy. Sorry.
It's easy how I could have made that mistake with a gaping slice in your trachea.
Yes, you're not a Pez dispenser like your sister. Sorry.
Unbelievable.
Oh, what a faux pas that was.
Oh, that's
Now-
unforgivable.
No.
A huge bravo to Jerry Seinfeld because he was the only one,
Jerry
I
will
think.
call him out.
He was the only one that ever called out Larry King for being just a dolt. Here it is.
Finally, this movie.
Well, you make it seem like you did the work.
No, but 4 years? Gone with the Wind took 3.
Did I bother you? Was I bothering you?
No.
I bothered you a little bit.
Yeah, okay. Why did it take so long?
They're not very good at this.
The bees are not very...
No, the animation people.
They're
I'm
not
kidding.
All right.
It's hard to make animated movies because they're basically puppet shows. It's a gigantic, insane puppet show. And every character has hundreds of controls. And you have to control them. And you know, in comedy, you got to get the facial expressions just right. You'll see that look on his face? Get a shot of that. We worked it to get that exact look. That kind of, I'm listening, but I really, I'm thinking about a bagel look that you had.
And they didn't get the shot.
What?
I sense a name dropping about to happen. You know, I saw Seinfeld one night at the
You did?
cellar, and I complimented him on how great it was.
Yeah.
Made fun of Larry King.
And what did he say?
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was the end of our name drop.
Jerry seems very aloof.
No, he was nice about it. He wasn't a dick.
But he seems very aloof.
He is, but he's been nice to me.
No.
Yeah.
Yep.
Was it mentioned in that clip that he wasn't listening?
No, I think the next one is...
because they were talking about, like, the bee, I think. One of the bees.
Did E-Rock mark them wrong?
What do you think? That was a waste of a clip.
Oh.
What do you think?
I think he did. I vote yes.
Did you hear at any point you're not listening?
No. He was talking about the facial expression of one of the bees.
I don't even know what this next clip. It's just mind-boggling.
Yes.
It's E-Rock.
Want to try it?
They look down on the other insects. They deal with honey and flowers. It's a very sophisticated life.
But they sting people.
Well, you know, you got to protect yourself.
Oh, that's right.
You know, every animal in nature has a form of self-defense, or you won't survive.
Will you do another movie?
Who's asking?
Me.
For you? No.
No, not for me.
For a major studio, perhaps. No, I don't know. I never plan anything in my career.
Jerry's great, though.
But the thing with Larry is, it's like he really thinks he can just wing these interviews. These cannot be prepared questions.
No.
He fucking stinks.
He does. He's just winging it.
Will you do another movie?
Another movie? We're just sitting, bullshitting, me and you.
But they're not even good bullshitting questions.
OJ, will you make another movie?
Do you still get Naked Gun residuals, or do they go into your wife's decapitated torso? Which one?
This is mind-boggling.
What's the matter? They're not...
not even close to matching up.
Really?
What was that one?
Well, I don't know.
I looked down the hall to see if...
Let's see if it's coming.
Well, let's just put it this way.
If it's coming.
Track 28 should be 2 seconds long. In the player, it's 26 seconds long.
I'm looking at
That's not even close.
I'm looking at my cup of water to see if Iraq's walking down the hallway.
It's kind of... This is not organized right. It's all fucked up.
It's all jumbled, like treats in his belly. Here it comes.
I'm not yelling at anybody.
Iraq says, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Whoever did it, did it. Meaning he had an intern do his work. Oh, boy. Here he comes.
This doesn't
For
even...
the second time of the day, Iraq.
This doesn't even match up.
Yeah.
Hi, buddy.
What's going up there? What's going on there, Iraq?
It should match up. It's written.
Well,
it's whatever was written on the disc at the time.
That's wonderful that it should match up. Of course it should match up.
I didn't write any of that.
I mean, we can all assume that it should match up.
Uh-huh.
Track 28. Larry calls the movie the B movie, then asks another dumb question. Should be 2 seconds long. Instead, we get this.
The B movie opens tomorrow everywhere. When you're doing stand-up, you know reaction right away. They laugh or they don't.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know? How do you get reaction from an animated movie when you're sitting in a soundstage?
Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you have to guess. Sometimes you just have to throw a dart in the dark and hope you hit something.
That was a good question. A stand-up comic doing a film asking about the immediacy of reaction. To me, that's an appropriate question.
But the whole point of this bit that we're attempting is to play all the Larry King faux pas. Not
his poignant questions.
Yeah, not the times when it worked.
There's one good question.
Then this just doesn't matter. This is just us playing old audio. The B movie came out like 5 years ago.
We threw him a bone because he's retiring.
Well, this disc doesn't match up.
Was it one of the highlighted ones?
Oh, in your face now.
Like I said earlier, I don't deal with simpletons. What do you think?
Oh, shit.
No, I was playing the ones that weren't highlighted.
Why would you do that?
Well,
oh, literal Jim.
Let's see, Rock. Let me see. Let me see. Which one did we just play there?
He's fucking
Larry calls the movie the B movie, then asks another dumb question.
Mm-hmm.
And this one is marked for time 2 seconds.
And we just played like almost a 30-second clip.
Yeah.
Now, what clip would be 2 seconds? Do you? That was that clip. And the next clip, another B movie reference, 2 seconds.
Oh, thank God. Russo's ready to go because this Larry King thing is
Can we hear
falling.
the Seinfeld insulting him? That's track number 31.
I threw the disc over there. Throw it back.
Oh, we can do it later.
Oh, sorry.
That was to decapitate the boss.
Whoa!
Yeah. Fucking boomeranged it.
Travis has him if you need him.
Oh, really? In the right order?
I don't have the Seinfeld one. I have some clips if we wanted to play some more stuff from Larry King.
Well, this might be a case of let's cut our losses.
Yeah.
Lasted how long?
9 years, 180 episodes.
You gave it up, right?
I did. So.
They didn't cancel you. You canceled them.
You're not aware of this?
No, I'm asking you.
You think I got canceled? Are you under the impression that I got canceled?
Have I hurt you, Jerry?
I thought that was pretty well documented.
Is
this still CNN?
Don't most shows go down a little?
Most people do also. But... Yeah, no, I went off the air. I was the #1 show on television, Larry. Do you know who I am?
Jewish guy, Brooklyn.
Yes.
Okay.
75 million viewers last episode.
What? You don't take it so bad.
Well, that's a big difference between being canceled and being number one.
Okay, I'm sorry. We'll be right back.
Jeez.
B-movie opens. B-movie
Can we get a resume in here for me?
B-movie
So
opens
Larry can
tomorrow.
go over?
Larry could go over.
We'll be right back.
Oh,
See, there you go.
these are fun. That to me is Seinfeld, right? That
damn. There you
is fucking
go.
Jerry Seinfeld.
Were you canceled?
You canceled them.
All right, maybe we'll go back to the Larry fuck-ups later on in the show. All right, why don't we do that? And then Chris Mad Dog Russo next.
The Virus. Sirius XM. This is the Opie and Anthony Show.
Hello, gentlemen.
Mad Dog Russo in studio.
Things good? Hi, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
From Mad Dog Radio.
Everybody all right? Jimmy, how you doing?
XM 144, Sirius 123.
Oh, I hate him.
How about you get on, Mike?
You were on.
What are you doing?
How about FAN stealing my idea of the freaking contest?
Well, how about you get on Mike and talk about
You
it?
know anybody know about the story?
We just got a bit piece of it.
You're ridiculous. You can't do this. This is Chernoff. This is not Mike. This is Chernoff.
Chris is standing here with a 5 and a single in his hand, like a kook on the subway.
Where is my Federer? Put Federer. Who can put a Federer
Are you
match?
drunk?
ESPN News.
He's drunk, I
No, I'm
think.
sorry.
He wants to put Federer on.
ESPN 2, 209. Anybody mind?
Not at all,
Not at all, man. We're just trying to get to vacation. We're just trying to get to vacation.
35.
We're
Vacation.
Let's see. I don't know what channel ESPN 2 is in New York cable. Do you anybody know?
Do not know.
No, you should know. You're the sports guy.
Well, not in New York. I don't know the channel. It's cable vision.
okay. You're a Connecticut guy, which is different.
How's the family? Up? Good? Wife good?
It's great.
Anthony, how's your life? All right?
Great.
He's got a family
Hey,
too.
looks good.
Fun.
Look at him. He looks good.
I'm fun. I was in the sun. I was in the sun. I was in the sun all day yesterday. I just sat there in the sun in my yard.
He burned his
into
face.
the pool.
He burned his face.
I was in the pool. I'm out of the pool. I'm back in the pool.
This place is getting
Who
to you.
plays golf
Little
around here?
sweeping
Anybody?
wine.
Well, you know we're on the air, right?
Oh, we are in here. Can you put the Federer match on so I can see what the hell's going on, please?
This place is finally getting to you. You're having a breakdown in front of our faces.
I'm cracking. How are we all doing, Jimmy? How are you?
I'm well.
There you go. Federer's up. What's the score here? It's a men's quarters at Wimbledon. What's the matter you got?
Well, we have a radio show to do.
Burditch is up 4-3.
And tennis-
And serving. Wait, Federer could be down a set.
Well, there it is.
Oh, baby, this is news.
Wait, we're doing like sports talk
This is a
radio.
sports talk show
All
here.
right, this is how you guys do it. You just watch and you comment.
Yeah, that's great.
40-0. This guy sucks.
Yeah,
No,
40
love
nothing.
40. It's love 40.
40 points to
Love
none.
40 is what you say.
I don't see Jimmy at the New Canaan Field Club. Let's put it that way. Anthony, how you doing, big guy?
Good.
Everything all right?
fun.
He looks
Yeah.
good. He got it shaved. He looks like a handsome son of a gun today.
You know.
He fell
I figured
asleep
what
in the
hell.
sun though yesterday.
Yeah,
He's a
Well,
little
it
red
was-
in the face.
It was a little
bit.
it was a little warm yesterday.
And it was very hot, yes.
I went out back, of course, laid down and crapped out for about 20 minutes. Woke up and was like, ooh,
Yeah,
better get in
we
the pool.
sat, first day at camp yesterday in my household. So my little 4-year-old went to camp. He is 4 years old. Gets on the bus with his brothers and sisters at 8:45. He got home at 4:20, and my wife said he was completely wiped out, which is the perfect because it's 88 degrees. He's at camp. He's running around all day.
Yeah.
You sitting out there for 20 minutes. He's wiped out after 8 hours.
That's easy.
Which is the way you want to do it, for goodness sakes.
That's easy for you then, right?
Easy for me. Yeah. Federer down 5-3 serving.
Yeah,
Now,
you're a big tennis guy
well,
there.
this is
Mad
a big, it's a
Dog.
big event right here.
No, I understand that. I even understand that. I don't really like tennis too much, but I know this is a big fucking tournament. Hey, what do you got on the longest tennis game?
John Isner. He's
you
the
talked about that on your show.
Oh, God, we got a break. It happened last Wednesday. We were on the air when that was going on. Was it 70-68, wasn't it? No.
Something like that.
Yeah, I think it was 70-68. Isner's the nicest guy in America. He was all over the place these last couple of days. He was on Letterman. He did throw out the first pitch of the Yankee game last night.
But he wouldn't have done all that if he wasn't in the longest tennis game of all time.
I mean, it's funny.
Because no one knew who he was before that.
The tennis fan did, but the average person had no idea. And remember, he lost the next match. Because you expect it, because that was a 3-day match, played all these games. The next match he played, he lost 16 minutes in the first set.
Yeah.
Nicest guy in the world. He's 6'9", went to University of Georgia, beat Roddick last year at the U.S. Open. Nicest guy in the world. Patrick McEnroe, the Davis Cup coach, loves him. But he got more notoriety for winning a first-round match at Wimbledon the way he did than he did for, losing in the second round.
Right.
There you go.
How long was that match?
is 11 hours and 6 minutes. The fifth set took 7 hours by itself.
That's
2 days.
It's insanity.
It's the craziest thing. To me, it wasn't a great tennis match. It was more about the oddity of playing such a long fifth set.
Of course.
So long.
You guys are flying. A little enthusiasm in here.
We're a day and a half from vacation.
Oh, are you really?
You know how that goes. You just watch that clock and go, get us the fuck out of here.
When you come back, middle of August?
No, we're not Howard. We're not Howard. We're not Howard.
My old Mikey's never around in the summertime. When are you coming back?
We come back about the end.
About a week.
About a week.
Oh, it's only a week off.
Yeah, a little week action.
So you're coming back July 12th?
Yep.
That's about right.
Okay, so you got July 4th. And all
you get the 4th of July, and then the week afterwards, just kind of hang out.
You know what I've been trying to do is take those Fridays off in the summertime. So that means it's only a 4-day work week. That's what I've been trying to put together.
We're all working toward the 4-day work week. See, we secretly love Howard because we know, hey, man, if they give it to Howard, they're going to have to give it to us eventually.
He set the precedent, no question about it. Those 4-day work weeks are good.
Hey, Angelo in Staten Island goes, hey, loves Mad Dog, better without Mike.
Oh, boy.
Has to be said.
Do we have to go into this now again?
Said.
You guys are always picking on me about the whole thing with Mike.
Well, no, there's two things I want to say. The first, they have Mike on in my gym. Does he even know he's on TV? Does the fucking guy look up ever at the camera when he's doing his dumb show?
It's a weird when you have those. Well, you
looked up when you were with him.
At times,
you realized you were on TV and said, "You know what? I'm going to look at the people every once in a while." This pompous ass doesn't even look up once.
Yeah, it's tricky with those TV cameras in there.
Stop sticking up for Mike.
Angelo and Staten Island now getting me in trouble.
Stop sticking up for Mike.
Sakes.
You don't need Mike.
Anthony, help me out here. You
don't need Mike. You don't need Mikey.
Nah.
Oh, God.
I listen to that show because of you, sir. You know that.
Well, you're a good for you.
All right. So we'll move on from that.
We got a lot of sports going on. Phil me.
Hold on. But the fan is ripping off your bit.
Oh, that drives me crazy.
So let's at least talk about that.
And it's not my bit. But give the powers that be who came up with the idea. I had nothing to do with it. They said, let's go out there, we'll spend some money, and we'll do a little marketing campaign to find the next quote-unquote great young talk shows.
Anthony's got the best idea for that.
Which is?
Pick a seat at Yankee Stadium. What was the old bit again?
Oh, God. Yeah, pick a seat, and then whoever's sitting in the seat is your host.
You've heard of that hacky bit.
Yes, it turns out to be somebody that's been in radio forever. Yeah. What a coincidence.
Well, we're looking for some guy to come in. We send us a 5-minute tape. We'll come up with the 5 finalists. We'll put them on the air with me, and then we'll decide, the fans will, out of those 5, which 2 of the 5 that they want to see host a 2-hour show.
Oh, yeah.
And then once the 2 of them on August 30th do a 2-hour show, it's a Monday night, first day of the U.S. Open tennis, we'll pick 1 out of those 2 to do shows for a month. We'll fly in. If you live in Tulsa, Oklahoma, we'll fly in and out, so you don't have to stay here all week.
Every day.
Saturday and Sunday. Okay. So they're going to do Saturday and Sunday.
How great would that be?
I didn't know what the hell you're talking about for a second.
How great would that be, though?
Saturday and Sunday, they'll come in for 4 weeks, come in on a Friday night or Saturday morning and do Saturday and Sunday, 3 hours, 24 hours of sports talk for 4 weeks, which is a good contest. So I'm sitting around last week. I was off Friday, so I was playing last Friday. I took my kids to freaking Long Lake Compounds up near ESPN and amusement park. That's a story for the day. But to make a long story short, on Monday I come back, take some phone calls. Guy calls up, Chris, did you hear about what FAN's doing? What's filming in? Well, they announced on Friday at 3 o'clock that they are looking for the next great sports talk shows.
Oh, my God.
And this is last week after I did Letterman on Monday, and I announced it with Letterman on Monday morning, and now you guys did all these Stern did all these interviews, and now 5 days after the fact, FAN comes up with the same idea. Can you come up with that's ridiculous? You can't do that. And then they say
putting a lot of words together.
And then they said we've been working on this for a year. This contest. Stop.
Boy.
A year.
Sure.
I did it in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, gee whiz.
You don't need to work on it a year. That's a basic contest.
Ridiculous.
It's a good contest, but it's basic.
It's a basic contest.
So you want to push a lot of our audience over to your channel?
No, I want everybody.
Oh, you don't?
I want everybody in the same spot as what I want.
I'm just suggesting.
I want a little, little smorgasbord. Some here, some there.
I mean, we want to suggest our guy Eastside Dave to at least be in the contest.
Sure. Get me. Is this Eastside Dave right here? No. Where is?
No.
I don't even know who is Eastside Dave.
Oh boy! Look around the room. Eastside Dave's in studio.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
I got a choice.
Yeah.
He's right behind me.
Yeah.
It's not you, is it, Opie?
That's Mars.
Yeah, that's south of the border, Mars.
This doesn't sound good for Eastside Dave because he's been trying to get a job with you for a while.
Well, why
and you don't even know who the guy is. That's not good.
Get me a 5-minute tape. Everybody will get an equal
If you put
opportunity.
Eastside Dave on Mad Dog Radio, you're going to get a lot of our audience checking it out. I'm just telling you that much.
We will. Okay.
And he's actually very good at doing some sports.
So it's perfect.
It's worth giving him a little shot.
Out of 5-minute tape, don't send me a tape with a sports
that's
Show-
Eastside Dave, by the way.
Oh, that's
Danny
Eastside
just
Dave.
threw him under the bus.
Yes.
Dave really needs a gig, and you're showing Mad Dog the picture of Dave in drag. That's
I Google
girl.
Eastside Dave, that's what comes up.
Wait,
So, Chris, what do they have to send you?
Send me a 5-minute tape of the best you got. Do a monologue, do a little rant, do a little rip, get it to me. We'll have a little committee figuring out which 5 finalists should be in the mix, and then we'll put them on the air with me.
Where do they send them?
Well, it's go Sirius.com/MDR. Mad Dog Radio.
That makes it easy. Okay, let's just do that.
So they're looking for your partner.
No, it's not for my partner. We're looking for another host.
Okay,
Is what we're looking
Mad
for.
Dog's done with partners,
Good.
right,
I
Mad
had a
Dog?
partner for a long time. 19 years, Jimmy, baby.
Way too
19
long,
years.
right? Right, Mad
Well,
Dog?
it's a long time.
Way too long.
Listen to you two. Always looking to get me in trouble. Will you make a contribution, Anthony, for God's sake?
They're not trying to get you in trouble.
I'm letting you roll.
And-
I'm letting you shine.
Ian had his
God.
segment today. He had a really good segment on racism today.
Oh, he did,
And
Anthony
now
was-
me and you are going to talk sports.
We had a big racial discussion earlier.
And there's a lot of going on in sports right now.
They're not trying to get you in trouble. They're trying to see how 2 guys make it on their own after a partnership dissolves.
We're looking toward you.
You guys, how long have you guys been together?
16.
16 years.
16.
Do you have you ever had
Yes.
a period there in the 16 years where you couldn't stand each other?
Yes.
Yeah, there's been blowouts.
It started.
No, in general, it's been good.
Have you had
Look,
a
man,
3-month? Have you ever had a 3-month? I'm not talking to my partner
Oh,
deal.
shit, no.
Oh, okay.
That I don't know how you'd...
3 months. I've had that. So you know that-
Wait, where you guys don't talk, only talk on air?
even barely then.
Oh,
Mike and I had a couple of those.
We had a few of those.
You did?
Yeah,
Not
we
3
had.
months, a week?
No, I don't remember anymore, but we did.
Do you
But,
guys-
I mean, we're with each other every fucking day.
Do you speak to each other in the course of the afternoon or course of the day when the show's over?
Not anymore.
No, if something comes up.
I mean, you call each other 2 o'clock in the afternoon, see what's going on for the next day?
Not anymore.
No.
No. Emails.
You do, but
Texts,
you do
maybe.
communicate.
Yeah, there's some.
A little bit.
You might want to ask the third person in the room. That's a big no.
Jimmy's funny, you know, he's not bad.
Not bad. It's only been around 10 years. I'm glad you noticed. World Cup, Mad Dog.
Yes, I was into it until U.S. lost. Now I
That
can't
seems
get
to be
into
what
it.
everybody has done.
I can't get into it.
But you were only into it because we had a pretty good team this time around, right?
I was, beginning of a tournament, you always get a little more into it. You get excited. They won 2 crazy games. They shouldn't say they won.
Do you
They
like
Slovenia.
soccer, though?
Yeah.
No, played it in high school. I don't like watching it that much. I'd never go to an MLS game. Will I watch the World Cup final on July 11th? Yeah, I'll probably watch. That's a Sunday afternoon. I probably have to watch that.
I'll watch that.
I'll be in I won't be into it, but I'll make sure I'm on top of it. As far as the U.S. is concerned, they had a good situation. They had the England game right off the bat. They're playing the big English team, so you had to keep an eye on that. Then the Slovenia game in Game 2, they're down 2-0 at halftime, and they score 3 goals. The third goal disallowed, so there was some controversy.
Which was ridiculous.
So that added something, and then they're down 1. Then it's 0-0 to Algeria in the last game. They got to score to win, and they scored an extra couple minutes to win that game. So there was a little juice with the United States team. I thought it fizzled badly on Saturday. I thought the match was not a good match. They lose, and then since then I have not been into it.
And then no one's. Yeah, a lot of people dropped out after that. They're just not watching it. It's not in the news as much. It's
no question about it. Now listen, I was shocked that the New York papers put the England game on the cover in Monday. England had a terrible loss. They had a goal disallowed. You know about that goal that bounced in?
Yeah,
and they used
a lot of
replay.
controversy.
A lot of controversy
with the
with these
refs.
officials. And all these sports we've had with these officials here. So we did. So I was into it. I had to coach on 3 straight times after the games.
Nice.
Bob Bradley. So it's not like I ignored it,
Nice.
but I will not spend that much time on it now.
Why doesn't America embrace soccer? And some would argue that we are, but I don't think so. Not like the other sports.
Well, I mean,
why is that?
Well, why wouldn't England embrace baseball? It's it's not our game. Baseball is our historical game, not soccer. That's sort of our version of it. So from that perspective, we're baseball. We're historically a baseball. Now we're a football nation, but historically a baseball nation, and as a result, soccer is sort of Europeans and South America's sport, and baseball is our sport. They don't embrace baseball in Europe. We don't embrace soccer that much here in the United States. I never think it's going to be Listen, it will have its moments like we saw here in the World Cup, but it will never be a big sport.
If the USA won the World Cup,
holy shit,
and had like the next couple of years or the next couple of them in, then I bet you if soccer as a whole, people who make money on soccer were rooting for the United States, because then you'd have the whole country buying soccer gear and stuff like that.
Yeah, but that would be short-lived, I'm thinking.
You're probably right.
I don't forget the World Cup's only going to be 4 years. What do you do in the interim?
Right.
3 years before you
It'd be
get the next
exciting
World
for about
Cup.
a year. They'll play it out, and then it'll go back to where
But
it is.
let's give soccer its due. 19 million people watched that Saturday game against Ghana. That's a 2 o'clock in the afternoon game on a Saturday, and 19 million people
Now, give me
watch.
another sport where 19 million people watch.
Well, the NBA Game 7 of the finals, 25 million.
Okay, there you go.
So that's not terrible.
That's
19. Here's another one that you'd like. 19 million people for that game. That was the average viewers per game, Yankees and the Phillies in last year's World Series.
Wow.
So the U.S.-Ghana game, one game, got the same amount of audience that a Yankee-Philly World Series got. But it's not bad.
But a very different audience, you would have to think.
Yes.
You would have to think.
To get that kind of people to watch, you got to get the casual sports fan. There's not that many soccer
You got to
fans.
get unemployed people who can watch at 2 in the afternoon.
On a Saturday.
Baseball fans are working.
Did you watch it? Did you watch it Saturday?
I did watch.
Oh, there you go. Did you watch it? Did you have an idea what was going on?
No, I really didn't get into at all. At all. Right from the start, I was just like,
I'm watching these games, and I don't even know if I tweeted this. I don't know if I'm watching a good soccer game. In other sports, when you're watching a really good football game or a really good hockey game.
Correct.
I'm watching this soccer game, I don't even know if it's a good game, and everyone's yelling and screaming at me and trying to explain why it was a good game.
I get it. It's a hard game. There's so much little subtlety in the game. There's not enough goals, so there's not. It's a weird sport. But 19 million, so there you go.
Right
Some
on,
people,
man.
more than you thought, got into it.
This is old news, but we haven't talked to you in a while. Jim Joyce, The Perfect Game.
I was on that day with you guys.
Yes, he was.
Fuck, I don't remember.
I was 10 days ago. I was on that day
I
with
haven't
you.
slept a lot in the last 7 weeks.
Now,
Wait, what did you say, though? Just to refresh my memory.
I said Jimmy disagreed. I said you can't overturn the call. You got to let the call stand. I'd like to see instant replay in baseball. Now, listen, it's funny. I went to Strasburg's first game down in D.C. When he pitched.
Is he the real deal?
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah.
So I was there for that game. I had all the baseball guys on. The fans and media want instant replay, some sort of to correct these terrible calls. The folks in baseball don't. So it's not like Joe Torre wants instant replay.
Why is that?
They think the game's long enough, human element. They don't want to upset the flow of the game, things like that.
Oh,
what assholes.
The fuck? There's no flow to
I think you gotta
baseball game anymore.
I think you got to have some sort of instant replay, but the folks in the sport don't want it. So
The
that
baseball fans will continue to do what sports fans do, which is just take it in the ass. It's like if the sport is that bad at doing their job, stop. I haven't been to a live sporting event in years. Why? Because they fuck you. I won't go. I won't go.
Everyone else is filling the seats, though, Jimmy.
Let them do it.
Yeah,
Good for
little
them.
protesters for naught.
I
Always
don't
someone
mind that.
waiting for your seat.
Let them, but don't complain when they start throwing a charge at you just to have the right to own the seat.
Oh, the PSLs. I totally agree.
that's
If you're going to go to
crazy.
the sporting games and you're going to get annoyed about the PSL, don't buy the tickets. It's not buying milk.
Yep. Right.
It's not essential. You can live. Your games are on TV.
Yep.
You don't have to go to the games.
That Perfect Game, it just was a great opportunity for some great PR.
And for baseball to do the right thing.
Baseball.
Baseball had a good week with that. The umpire handled himself well, apologized, went to Galarraga. Galarraga, the pitcher, did not moan and groan about it. He handled it. They took out the lineup cord the next day.
Yeah.
That handled it well. Leland, the Tiger manager, nobody moaned and groaned. Baseball, actually, sportsmanship and all those kinds of things. Baseball came across okay.
Everyone but
based on
Bud
that.
Selig, who basically is just a cuckold owner.
Well, he doesn't like Bud.
I hate him.
I don't like him.
Because I think he's irrelevant. I don't think he does anything. I think sometimes as a man you got to stand up
and make
just
a tough
go,
decision.
This is not a foul call that Stern has to overturn in basketball. This is a legitimate 100%. We all know it, and the outcome could not have humanly possibly been different if it had been made correctly. It's rare you get those circumstances.
A lot of people disagree with that premise, but I understand if the immediate reaction is the kid pitched the perfect game. This is 27th.
On your show, the fans, what are they?
50-50.
Really?
Yeah, 50-50 on instant replay. Probably a little more.
50-50 on the
call. Yeah, 50-50.
Really?
I think most people thought, some people thought like Jimmy did. Some people said, you know what, you do this, and then you got to change this thing, you got to change that. Let's go back to this World Series game. Let's go back to the...
That's what I mean by it's a tough call.
He set a bad precedent.
What about Pine Tar?
Huh?
The Pine Tar incident.
Well,
with George Brett.
But that didn't change everything.
No, but the Pine Tar, they allowed that home run to stand. What they did was the Yankees, they called the home run no good, and the Royals appealed, and the home run eventually stood.
So why didn't they appeal a call, and why didn't the Tigers appeal?
Because that's a judge. Because the Pine Tar is a rule.
A rule and a judgment.
Right. And the other one is.
But isn't it a rule if you get to the fucking base before the ball gets safe? Isn't that a rule?
And Bud Selig just comes out and goes, "Look, this is a one-time thing. I'm not looking at other calls. I just decided now that I want this to be overturned, and that's it."
I don't think Bud wanted that Pandora's box.
There you go. Right. Because Bud
and the best part of the George Brett incident when they had to come back and finish the game, and there was what? 1,000 people.
It was top of the 8th, top of the 9th. And the Royals won the game. Boy, that's a good memory, you guys remember that.
Well, the clip online is hilarious because they had to come back and finish that game. And, I mean, who's going all the way to the stadium for fucking one inning?
I bet the Scooters didn't even win for that game. I bet you Messer and White had to cover that one. The Scooters stayed home.
What year was that, 82, 83?
Oh, that's your world.
Billy Martin was the manager. I'm going to say early 80s.
Yeah, this is so goddamn entertaining. They come running out of that dugout.
And by the way, the home plate umpire in this game who made it that he was out is Tim McClellan.
Wow,
Tim McClellan still around.
Wow.
And he's the guy last year in the Angel-Yankee playoff game that got screwed up at third base when the two guys got stood. Same umpire.
No kidding.
And not only that, in 2007, McClellan was the home plate umpire. Padres-Rockies in the wild card playing game. Winners makes the postseason. Holiday scored at the plate. He caught him safe, never touched home plate. So he's had a lot of controversy.
So he's a bum.
Well, I don't know about
another guy who can't do his job.
83.
When Brett
July
comes
24th,
Brett comes running out of that dugout like a mad. His eyes like a mad person.
Yeah, that was a famous scene.
We're talking 27 years ago.
That's unbelievable.
27
years.
Hey, I don't know how much time we got with you. LeBron James. Now,
we got a few minutes. Go ahead.
At midnight, he becomes a free agent.
Here's what I would say.
A lot of people starting to say Miami.
I don't think that will. Let's sum up the...
Break it down.
I'll break it down for you quickly. All right, number one, when this whole process started, I thought he'd stay with Cleveland. Loyalty, Akron, the Cavs have done a good job of trying to maintain a good ball club. They obviously fizzled this year.
Can I jump in for a second? Fizzled, yeah.
They were terrible.
He completely fell apart in the playoffs.
He had that one terrible game.
And they had a great team to go all the way this year.
Well, that's the issue. I think they probably were a little overrated.
What was that about?
Well, they had a bad Game 5. There was a lot of rumors that things occurred between a teammate and everything else.
What do you know about that?
Who knows?
One of the players sleeping with LeBron's mom.
That was the rumor.
That was a heavy rumor, and then he came out the next day and played terribly. And West is
terribly is an understatement.
Game 5.
It was one of his worst games ever. So when they needed him the most.
Correct. But if that's a fair enough reason, if this is the case, if that is accurate, well, that would explain such a bad performance.
Sure.
But I still think Cleveland, at the time, at the end of the year, was the favorite. The Knicks are not going to get LeBron James. The fact that he's not coming to New York for a little wine and dine thing tells you something right off the bat.
Can I jump in? The reason is because it'll take way too long to get a championship with LeBron James.
The talent stinks.
Because he really needs to start winning championships.
Well, he needs some players around him, and the Knicks have nobody. Now the Knicks
comes to New York, and they're going to still need 2 or 3 more years to build a team around.
Now the Knicks have the max. They can bring 2 guys in. But now, so can Chicago, who's made these moves in the last week or so. So the Bulls can bring 2 guys in too, him and Chris Bosh or something like that. And the Bulls have Derrick Rose. The Bulls have a decent supporting cast now. They made the playoffs last year. So if you bring LeBron in with Bosh, all of a sudden that's a big time team. So I thought Chicago now is in the mix.
My opinion on that. Why would you want to go where Michael Jordan was? Because unless you're going to be the greatest player of all time, which LeBron James has a chance if he starts winning championships.
Correct.
If you don't get that title, you want to at least be the greatest player for a certain franchise.
Excellent job. Opie's on. Anthony, we make a contribution.
I mean, it's sports.
Anthony hit it right in the head.
But that's what I'm thinking. Why would he do that? He would be in Michael Jordan's shoes the entire time he's in Chicago. He'd have to win at least 6 fucking championships there.
It's a great point.
That's why I don't think Chicago.
Well, I felt the same way, but Jordan's his buddy. He's going to wear his uniform number next year. He may not look at it like you and I look at it. So I wouldn't go there either for that very reason, but it doesn't sound like that's that big a factor for him. Because I agree with you. I wouldn't go there where they got a trophy, they got a
statue outside.
But by the same token, if Chicago makes its presentation in the next day or so and Jordan picks up the phone and calls them, maybe that has some influence.
But they've done nothing since then. He could actually show up as a conquering hero because they've kind of sucked since Jordan left. It's not like they've been winning.
That's true, too.
So he could be a guy to recapture glory.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's a good way to look at it, too.
Now, remember, ESPN got caught in this. They got 1 million guys. This is the big enchilada of this story. The guy who can tell you where LeBron's going before anybody else can, and turns out to be true, they look pretty good with this scenario. So right now you have all the ESPN guys trying to tell you, as we saw at this Miami thing, that we are going to be the first to tell you where LeBron ends up. So that's where this Miami Heat thing came up in the last couple of days, that they had this grand meeting over the weekend with the 3 free agents, Bosh, LeBron, and Dwayne Wade. But as ESPN reported that, but as it turned out, Wade was in Chicago and LeBron was never there. So don't believe or listen to anything you hear. I don't think LeBron knows right now where he's showing up.
I think
it's Bulls. I think it's Bulls Cavs.
I think it's going to be in Maine at like a AAA farm team. The Maine Cranberries.
Now, that's not good enough. Is it going to be the Bulls or the Cavs? If you had to say right now,
I'd say loyalty. He got a mansion in Akron. I think the Cavs have been good to him. He hasn't won a championship there yet. He's been playing there his whole life. I think he'll sign a 3-year contract with Cleveland.
Wow,
that's what I think.
Which
is going to put the Knicks in a tough spot because if you've read today, the Knicks are going to be at 9 o'clock tonight. Midnight our time, 9 o'clock in L.A. They're going to be in L.A. tonight to talk to Joe Johnson. He's an Atlanta Hawk free agent, and they're going to try to get him signed to a big contract. Then they're going to go to Phoenix. Dolan's going. Then they're going to go to Phoenix to talk to the Suns forward Amari Stoudemire. And then tomorrow at 1, they're going to be in Akron, and they're going to talk to LeBron tomorrow at 1. What they think the Knicks are going to try to tell LeBron, listen, LeBron, we have Joe Johnson signed, so our team is better all of a sudden. I think that's what they're going to try to convince LeBron. Try to get somebody on the team before they talk to LeBron tomorrow afternoon.
And the Knicks got a lot of money to spend.
Well, but remember, there's a salary cap in the NBA.
Right.
So they're not the Yankees. You know, the Knicks have money, the Bulls have money. All these teams got the same amount of money.
Okay.
So it's not a case their money is not an advantage. And remember the other thing about the NBA that's very important. The existing team has a better chance to sign a player. The Cavs can give LeBron $30 million more than any other team can.
That's how you keep him loyal.
One extra year, and $30 million
that's
more.
how you get these guys to resign for the same team.
So that's why there's not as much movement in the NBA.
That's incentive.
Because which is fair. You're trying to keep the teams. It's not like the Yankees every year being such a great team. That's
I like that.
Now let's talk about vacation time. I'm interested. You make me jealous. Jimmy, you first. What are you doing next week? You got gigs. You got.
I'll be performing this weekend, and then next week I'm in Montreal performing at the festival.
Oh, really? So you're going to be, you got to work hard. All right, so this is not a week off for you.
No,
what are you doing now?
I'm going to go see Jimmy down at the Borgata on the 2nd and 3rd, and depending on how I do, I might stay for the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. We'll see how things go with the tables.
What a life he's got.
It's a lot of fun.
That's doing all right for himself.
I mean, I'm still cleaning rear ends with little babies. Oh my God!
With my tongue.
You're not supposed to laugh at that.
You're right. I should.
You got a much different show than us. You should be laughing at that.
That was kind of funny. But all right. Now, how about you?
I'm just trying to protect your
my image, my clean, not as clean cut as you think. Now, how about you? What do you got?
I got an 8-week. My son's 8 weeks old. And I think we're going to like venture out and drive all the way to Rochester, New York to see Brother Louie. And do a little cottage action.
And congratulations, by the way. I should have sent you a little. I should have sent you something for that.
Little car seat. He's been in the car many times.
Yeah.
Already.
What is his name?
Hudson.
I like that name. Oh, well, when was he born? What day?
Mother's Day.
Really?
Yeah.
What was that? Cesarean or is it regular?
Here we go. Regular.
You didn't plan it then? Okay, so it just happened.
Well,
to
we
be
had it planned, but my stupid doctor was on vacation.
I say okay.
She was 11 days late, and the doctor thought, you can make it to 14 days late. That's kind of crazy talk right there.
Most first babies are late. My wife was 7 days late with mine.
Yeah.
So you had it on May 9th. First, how many pounds, how many ounces?
9 pounds, 4 ounces.
Oh, wow, look at that.
A long baby.
Mine was, my first was 9'2", so there you go.
Is your wife tall?
Yes, mine's tall. So
my wife's tall too, so we got a long baby out of the deal.
Did you take some days off after that?
I've probably officially I took a week off, but from the show I probably took about a month off.
Now,
I've been tired, man.
It is
I'm tired.
Are you sharing the taking care of child in the middle of the night? What are you doing with that?
He's sleeping the night already.
Are you serious? After 8 weeks?
Sleep in the night. We got rid of the 2 o'clock feeding a few weeks in.
We're
really
gosh.
lucky. We're really lucky.
That is tremendous.
Right now it's like 10:30 to 5:30.
You can't beat that. And you do the 5:30. Well, then you can't.
I help when I can. No, she's been beyond cool. But then I give her a break when I get home and all that.
How do you feel being a father? Fill me in. Is it what you thought it would be?
They don't want to hear this out there.
Come on, you and I.
Honestly, I fucking love it.
You're into it, totally into it.
I was always into being a father. It just didn't work out for many years. Yeah. Yeah, and it's way better than I thought it would be.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How old are you? 40 what?
Yeah. I'm an old father, yes.
Oh, boy,
yes.
Oh, boy.
Yes, I'm an old father.
See, it's interesting because when you have children, it takes you sometimes a little while to attach to it. My first, same thing. As soon as it was born, I loved it to no end. Other ones, it kind of took me a little while to grow on.
Well,
really? It really does.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a stranger in your house all of a sudden. It's like, who are you? What are you doing here? And then you feel like you're just babysitting and someone's going to knock on the door and go, all right, thanks for babysitting my kid. And then you realize, wait a minute, no, this is going to be a while.
How about your wife? I mean, there's a bond there with that wife and child.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
We can't get to father. Nobody cares. But I mean, congratulations. I should have did a much better job of acknowledging that.
It's just amazing to me, like that guys do completely, like, not change completely, but as far as a child being there and then having this unconditional love and adoration for this baby, and I look around like wow, I just can't get it.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
Well, how you feel when you saw your new iPhone?
There you go.
No,
but I should
buy a new gun.
But I should say this, which might help Anthony a little bit. I mean, he doesn't want this, and that's fine. That's what it's all about. I hate kids. I hate everyone's kids.
You do, really?
I never held a newborn before my own son. I did for the picture, like, here, hold him, or I take the picture, all right, great, here you go.
Did you cut the umbilical cord?
Yeah, but I didn't care about that shit. They forced me to. It's weird how you can't cut right through that. I thought it would be an easy cut.
Yeah, you're
sawing away, basically.
You are.
It's creepy. But when I saw my own son, it was a whole different thing. I'm like, oh, right on.
So
when it's yours, it's like, okay.
Now you get the idea. Yeah,
but other people's kids, I'm like everyone else. Yuck. Ugh, I probably hate your kids, Mad Dog.
There are times. Remember one thing, too. Small kids, small problems. Big kids, big problems. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it gets harder.
I understand it's not going to be a cakewalk.
Yeah, you're going to have more than one, are you not?
I'd like to, yeah. But I'm getting up there.
Breaking that news.
You're not that old.
Oh, you thought I was only going to have one?
No, I had no idea.
No, I'm going to have a few.
Well, I was 39 when my first child was born. My wife had 4 kids in 7 years, so I'm 50.
Jesus.
And I'm 50. She's 8 years younger than me, 43. I'm 50, so my first child came at 39, and my last came at 45. So think about it for me. I'm going to be 60 and have a 15-year-old in high school. That's ridiculous.
I sort of have that beat, so.
How old are you, Opie?
How old are you?
I'm 50.
All right, I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Jeez, are you really?
We're getting there.
I didn't get married till I was 35 years. First marriage at 35. But it's, it's funny. The last one I had, In 2005, a boy, I felt the same immediate attraction to him, and now he can't stand me. He wants nothing to freaking do with
And
me.
he's only 5 years old?
He's 4. He's 5 in July. All he wants is his mother. It's unbelievable. The other ones love me, and the 4-year-old can't stand me. It's the strangest thing in the world.
Can't stand you.
Get away from me. Go away. Go away.
Tells you to
I hate
go.
you, Daddy. Oh, my.
He says that?
Put him outside. Put him outside for a while during the winter.
But when when my wife's away and he's with me, can't get enough of me. It's the strangest thing in the world. It's the kid dynamic.
You should remind him of that, like when he's hungry and she's away. Say, well, you remember your earlier remarks?
Now you don't eat.
Yes, you may want to amend those.
Well, congratulations on that.
Yeah, I'm pumped. It's
So you go. So this week you're going to Rochester for the week.
Yeah, a little cottage action, hopefully.
When are you leaving? Friday morning?
Like tomorrow, maybe.
Oh, you're taking Friday off?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking Friday off.
The listeners
You
don't
got
know
a lot
that.
of the
We were going to
stuff.
fake that. Thanks, man.
You got a lot of the stuff like pack. You got to pack all that stuff up for.
He knows pack and play and
I
all
tell
this
you,
crap.
that's the one thing.
A lot of
Oh
gear.
my
huh?
God, it's unbelievable.
I realize my car's not big enough already.
You got to get these vans. You got to get
I'm not
these
doing a
town
mini
cars.
fucking
Oh,
minivan.
man.
I'm not doing a
I think you should
minivan.
get a minivan.
I'm not fucking minivan.
Yeah, Opie, you should minivan
A
it.
baby on boards thing on the back.
I watched my brothers when they hit their third kid. They had to go minivan.
How many brothers do you have?
4.
And they all
I'm
have-
one of 7.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah.
They all have
5
children?
boys, 2 girls.
They all have children?
No, not really. Half of us like late or no, and the other half yes.
Okay.
You should get that. The minivan, and then, even Janine is saying, the little stick figures of the daddy, the mommy,
right.
and the little kids. You line them up in the back window. Aww.
I think maybe if we go 3, I might not have a choice, but I saw my brothers handle it with 2 kids with the regular cars.
I have...
Nothing makes your testosterone drop like that side door sliding open. The sound of that.
You remember that scene? You remember that scene in The Sopranos when... when Michael was going to go turn on, when Christopher was going to go turn on Tony, and he was going to run away because his wife got caught undercover.
Oh, yeah.
And he was at the grocery store, and he saw the guy come out of the grocery store with the 3 kids, and he was putting gas in the car. And he said to myself, I don't want this.
Yeah.
And then he went back and got, what was her name? His girlfriend?
Adriana.
He turned on Adriana and so killed her.
Yep.
And that all came because he went to that grocery store and he realized that if he left Tony, this
That
was
would
going to
be
be
my
his
life,
life.
yeah.
And it was 4 kids coming out. You remember that? He was struggling with bags. The kids were yelling at him and all. That's the kind of thing you got to do.
Screw that.
Adriana getting killed.
That was a rough scene.
I know. Who wasn't turned on?
That was a rough one.
Here's what I do because when you have kids, it's a compromise. Last Friday, I took the day off. I took all 4 kids to this amusement park up in Bristol, Connecticut. All 4 of them with a junior in high school. So because I got to have the rides, I can't. The little one can't go on the same rides that the 11-year-old can. So I took 4. I came back, left at 8 o'clock in the morning, came back at 9 o'clock at night. But the next day, I played golf in a golf tournament. Gone for 6 hours. I couldn't say anything. Hold on, James.
You got to make these deals.
You have to make these deals.
Well, I couldn't say anything.
How much easier is my life? I have to pack Cialis and a cock ring for a week. It's so much easier.
It is. It's so
being
much harder.
single and garbage.
Oh, it's so much harder. As I have a basketball coach friend of mine who always says the same thing when he has kids. You know when the men's weekend begins? Monday morning at 8 o'clock. When you go back to work.
Oh, right. Because the weekend is.
The weekends are brutal.
Tied up having a.
No, listen.
Is your handicap horrible?
I've been playing well right now. It's about a 15.
Fuck.
I've been playing well right now.
Damn, that's all right.
Matter of fact, I was in a golf tournament
take a 15.
I'm in this golf tournament right now. You guys don't follow golf, but I'm so proud of this result. Last year I collapsed late, same event. It's 48 players for 15 spots. Medal play. Every ball in the cup, no mulligans, nothing like that.
No
You got to
gimmies.
play nothing. It balls
No
under the
within
tree.
the
You
leather.
can't kick it. You got to hit the. I mean, I shot an 87 on Saturday morning. Minus the handicap is a 70. So 87 minus 7. So I made this field of 15 from 48. And then there's match play after that, where you play hole by hole with handicap. And I won my first one last Sunday.
There you
so
go.
I play Saturday at 9:07 in the morning, round of 8. Now, I told my wife when I went to the amusement park, listen, Jeannie, if I qualify Saturday, I got to play Sunday. So she's aware of that. She did not realize that if I win Sunday, I got to play this Saturday. Nor is she aware of the fact that if I win Saturday, I play Sunday. Nor is she aware of the fact that if I play Sunday, I'm playing July 4th. So deal with it, for God's sake.
July 4th?
In the morning at 9 o'clock, you have the 4 kids. Oh, my God.
You're so
I almost want to lose now, for God's sake.
You don't want to do it.
You're in trouble, man.
That's the sort of deal, Jimmy. This is what you have to look for. Have you been married, Jim?
Never even. I've never had them more than 3 nights in a row at my apartment.
One day. Can you see him getting married?
Honestly,
No.
Jimmy, yeah.
You
Believe
do?
it or not,
Nope.
yeah.
No, Anthony,
I
you're
don't see
divorced,
it.
right?
Thank God.
How many years are you married?
God. I was married 9 years.
9
I've been
years.
divorced
No children, right?
No. No kids, no house, no nothing. I had nothing.
Do you see? It sounds like he's had it forever with marriage.
Oh, yeah, he's done.
Will
He's
never get married.
Never a chance.
Not
he's
a
done.
chance.
No desire to have a kid.
No. Don't want a kid. I mean, my brother and sister both have kids now that like little kids, like 2 years old.
So you and you have a good relationship
That's
with
fine.
them?
Oh yeah, they're great. I love having them over. Yeah, come
Uncle,
over to the house.
Uncle Anthony, they love it. Okay.
They go in the pool. It's all fun. They splash around. Yeah, it's all.
But you know, here's a good thing: you can get rid of them.
Yeah, that's it. Then they leave, and it's fine.
Why don't we show Mad Dog what you've been up to in your basement instead of raising kids like myself and Mad Dog?
What, trying to...
Because now I'm hearing it just made iHeartChaos.com, their
did?
website. Yes. Is that I don't even know that website.
That's good. I'm just,
This is what, Mad Dog, this is what our pal Anthony's up to.
You gotta
Instead
show it
of
to me
being
here on YouTube?
married and having kids. Well, yeah, show him that one.
I have been doing karaoke and putting it on YouTube, but it's not interesting just doing karaoke. So
Oh, my God.
I have my
Will
gun
you stop
collection.
at the gun?
That's a
my
real
gun
gun.
collection.
That's his 50 cal. That's real.
Yeah, that's
That's not a
50
toy
cal,
gun, Mad Dog.
M107 Barrett 50 cal
But listen to
sniper.
the
Billy
voice.
Joel,
Listen to the
too.
voice. It's beautiful.
Oh, it's haunting.
No, Cat Stevens.
Oh, Cat Stevens.
Beautiful.
Just singing over a track, though.
It's lip syncing.
Is that a real gun? Is that a real gun, Anthony?
Oh, that's a real gun.
That's a 50
That's
cal.
Licensed, I hope.
Well, you don't need a license for a rifle.
Oh, you don't?
No, just pistol.
Are you serious by that?
Yeah, Long Island. No. In New York State, you don't. New York City, you do.
You have to have a license for this, right?
In New York City, you need a license.
You don't have to have a license for a rifle?
You walk in, you give me a license, your driver's license is ID. They call their little FBI thing. They make sure you're not a convict. And then you walk out with a 50 caliber.
Unbelievable.
Takes Browning machine gun
How
rounds.
much does that cost, that gun?
That's a very expensive
Couple
weapon.
$1,000?
More than that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that is a very expensive
So that's what Ant's
firearm.
up to.
So I do that. I take various guns from my collection and I sing karaoke.
Yeah.
Crazy
as
gun
I-
guy
as I
karaoke.
play them.
He's not ready for fatherhood. Let's put that.
No, can you imagine what it would take to baby-proof his house?
Oh, jeez. So you have not got to the stage. I can't deal with this tonight. You have not gotten with that stage.
Strange enough.
Good for you. Well, it's only 8 weeks. Good
No,
for
I know.
you.
I know it's going to be.
Hey, look, he's happy as a lamb. This one.
He likes being a dad.
It's,
likes being a
Good
daddy.
for him. Hey, good for him.
It's calmed me the fuck down.
Good for
be
him.
honest
You know
with you.
what? Good for him. I tell you, the bond with your wife when that child is born is the greatest bond you're ever going to see in your life. When you see that child come out and you realize that you and your wife put it together, that is, I felt an unbelievable bond at that point.
Yeah, it
Did you feel the same way?
Yeah, I don't even know what I saw.
I like the bond you feel during conception. To tell you the truth.
That does help
That's a
too.
good
I must
bond.
admit. That might go away a little bit too when the kids come in. I guarantee. He may not know that
shit.
yet, but it's going to happen.
Hell.
Yeah, we're kind of aware of that. not with
aware of
not
that.
with us, but just we've seen it happen. So we're hopefully not.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's
Hopefully
harder.
not.
Isn't it like
Kids-
just a time thing? Like you can't
Time
find
and
the
kids.
time.
Kids, I mean, they get kids. Listen, I got 4 kids. You know how many times the kid comes into your room in the middle of the night because he's sick? He doesn't feel well, or she doesn't feel well, got a headache,
and what if you're,
nightmare, nightmare,
And what if
then she
you're-
wants to sleep with mommy and daddy. It's not that easy.
Man, dog's in hell.
Oh, my gosh.
He's in hell.
I can see why when you get older, you can see why when you talk to families and their kids are off to college college or they're out of college and they have their first job and everybody says to you, oh, finally got them out of the house. You can understand when you have kids around for a long time what they mean in that situation. Forgetting that. Federer's about to get through this second set of piece. There you go.
He's doing all right.
Well, set a piece. He's not out of it yet. He's up 5-3 serving in the second set.
And you're really a big tennis
Well,
fan.
this is a big
I
event.
know that about you.
I love tennis.
You play and everything.
I loved it. Yeah. And,
You any good?
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
Not bad. Pretty good.
Not bad.
I'm a better tennis player than a golfer. But again, this is all issues when you have kids. It's not that easy to go out there and
How
play.
fast is your serve? Has it ever been measured?
No, it has not.
You must have over the years for that.
I don't. It's not. When you get to my age, it's about keeping the ball in the court. It's about keeping rallies going. It's not about blasting people away with first serves. You know anything about tennis, Jimmy?
Yeah, it's like if you hit the net bad, over net good.
Does the lines count? If the line is, if it hits the line, in or out?
Well, I mean, technically it's in.
All right, there you go. All right,
unless the score is love 30. What does that mean? Unless you're playing Anthony, then it's love 15.
Yeah, why can't it just be basic points? Why do they have to do that?
1, 2, 3, 4 instead of
why
this one?
not?
Tennis is a European game.
Did we do all the sports stories?
We did LeBron. We did the World Cup.
College World Series. No one really.
I can't get into that. You got the baseball going on right now too. The Yankees are playing well. Mets.
How are your Giants?
I've been very down on them.
Yeah.
Very down on them.
Big Giants fan.
Oh, they've been awful.
Which is strange to me because you're from this area, right?
Well, I've always loved the Giants, but I've been very down on them. Lincecum hasn't pitched well. Their best players are not playing well, which is a major problem. They can't win games in their division. The Giants, remember about the Giants, too, haven't won a World Series since 1954.
Wow.
Which is only two. There's only like 3 teams that have a longer dry spell, the Cubs and the Indians. That's all you need to know. And the dry spells between the Giant last playoff game that they played was 2003. The only 7 teams in the sport who got a longer dry spell? The Royals, the Reds, the Pirates, the Orioles. That's the Giants. Willie Mays. This shouldn't be happening.
I didn't know that about your team.
Oh, they've been very bad. And not played a playoff game since 2003. There's only 7 or 8 teams in the sport who got a longer dry spell.
Wow.
That's ridiculous.
Wow.
This is the Giants of Mays, McCovey, Marichal, Barry Bonds. Drives you crazy. So, there you go. What am I going to tell you?
But you stay with them.
But fandom is all about. But I don't think I'm going to win it. I don't think I'll see him win a championship.
Did you get out to Candlestick?
AT&T, that new park. I used to go to Candlestick all the time. Yeah.
Sorry.
I've been to that park. It's a good park.
I hate that it's all corporate.
I hate. Well, they need the money.
It's nice to hear Candlestick Park, right?
Well, they need the money to help pay
But have
for
the
it.
logo there, but still call it Candlestick Park. I don't know.
I understand where you're coming from.
But do you get out there once a year or no?
I haven't been there for a couple years. I have been there, though. I was there for the World Series when they played the Angels and blew it. And I was there the first game they ever played in the ballpark. I was there. I've been there about 3-4 times. Nice park. Beautiful park.
What do you think of...
All-Star game. I was in the All-Star game 3 years ago, and I was there for that, too.
What do you think of Sterling's calls on...
I love them.
Do you?
The home run calls?
No, you don't.
You can't love them.
You must
And I hate the Yankees.
You must hate.
Why do you love the home run calls?
It makes me laugh.
We goof on him relentlessly.
We think it's a great home run call right before the nickname.
Before he comes up with a wacky name.
Yeah.
Did you hear the one last week when Granderson hit the home run against Arizona?
Oh, horrible. The Grandy Man can. Because it's all about me, not about the guy hitting the home run. It's all about me.
People do say, did you hear how about the Cano one?
Wait, we got it.
With 2 out, the 2-2. Swung on, there it goes. Deep right field, it is high. Mid is far. It is gone. It's a grand slam.
Stop.
It's a Granderson slam. The Grandy Man can. The Grandy Man can. Curtis Granderson.
It's
drills
invasive.
A grand slam over the high scoreboard wall.
It's invasive.
And it's forced, Mad Dog.
You
hear how it's forced. That one was forced.
One thing about Sterling, he loves the Yankees. His life is the Yankees.
Yeah, we understand.
Yeah. But he shoehorns his own fucking thing in there. So it drives me nuts.
He thinks he's playing.
I think
he thinks he's playing. And not only that, he's got a little man next to him.
A little man?
Yeah, a little man. He talks to him during the game. Did you guys know that?
What?
Seriously?
No.
Wait, what?
Yes, he got a little man.
He's got a little
man. He's an
Yeah, I'm like, how dare you say that about Susan Wong?
He's an imaginary one, but he's got a little man. He absolutely loves that little man.
Wait, what are you talking about?
I'm serious. He's got a little imaginary man.
Is he in a
next to him
boat?
That he talks to the man in the course of the game. Can you believe that call? Can you believe this? Can you believe that? So in his own mind,
so he's having a discussion with somebody, and it sounds more conversational.
Yeah, exactly right.
So that's what he does.
Between innings.
Does he look over to the invisible man?
Wow.
No, but he knows he's there.
Does he put a little doll on?
No, he didn't put a doll.
You know what they taught us in radio?
And Sterling, by the way, is a good guy. Down deep, he's a good guy.
He seems like a good guy.
He's different.
I'm sure you've had him on the show
different.
many times.
He's different, but he's a good guy.
Has he ever taken?
Known him for
has he
a long
ever
time.
taken 3 months of not talking to the little man because they were fighting?
That's a good story. I remember he's not missed a Yankee game since 1988.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
He's got 4 kids.
How about
triplets.
you take a day off?
Wow.
Just take a day off every once in a while. No one's going to miss you. No one's going to miss you.
That's why. He's got 4 kids at home. He can't wait to get on the road.
No, he's divorced.
Every amazing thing that could happen in baseball would happen that one day that he didn't show up.
That's exactly
everything.
That's what he's afraid of. That's what he's afraid of.
I'm sure.
And he does 9 innings, don't forget. He doesn't share the game with somebody else doing the broadcast.
Right, yeah.
Every other broadcasting team on radio, one guy does 5 innings, one guy does 4. Not John. He does all 9.
What do you mean? I don't know that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Howie doesn't do all the innings. He does 5 innings.
They kind of leave.
And then where does he go?
Well, he stays there, but he doesn't do the 4. He doesn't do the play-by-play.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
and Sterling does the 9 innings of every. Look how excited!
That's all right. Yankees win.
Yankees win! Oh God! Sad stuff. Have a good vacation, will you please?
Yes, we absolutely
I'm
will.
hoping.
Take a little breather.
All right, so the big promotion for you again. We're looking for
the best sports talk show host in America. I mean, whether you are now, listen. If you're, Chris Berman, you're not going to apply for this job. But if you are a
Eastside Dave, I'm telling you.
if you have a desire to get yourself going, you're in a bad scenario. You're a radio guy. Send us Sirius.com/Mad Dog Radio. Send me a 5-minute tape.
Eastside Dave has 2 sick kids. Could you help him out?
No, get me a tape. I can't play favorites. You know that. But get me a tape, and we'll go from there. And then it become one of 5, one of 2. And if you win this contest, you get 24 hours of sports talk on our channel. We'll fly you back and forth Saturdays and Sundays in the month of, let's say, September, whatever it might be.
And what happens after that?
If you're good, we'll hire you. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, all right. It's okay.
That's not, there's no guarantees about full-time employment, but there is a guarantee that you'll be on for a month.
Yeah.
And FAN cannot steal. We had this.
That's
that wasn't
ridiculous.
even me. It was people upstairs.
That's
it's not my contest. It's their contest.
Yeah.
I'm just doing it on our channel. But I took a year to come. You got to be kidding me.
A year to come up
that's
with it.
ridiculous.
Right. Okay. And of course, Mad Dog Radio. I'm a fan. I listen as much as I can. XM 144, Sirius 123.
Opie, congratulations.
Thank
I should
you,
have
sir.
sent you. I should have sent you something, and that's a bad job.
You know what? It's not too late. So
I can get you something.
I expect your gift.
Did you get $1 million of them?
Oh yeah. Everyone's been very generous.
Yeah,
very
I got
nice.
93
Very nice.
when the first kid was born.
93 gifts. You counted?
We had to send 93 thank you notes.
Yeah, we're a little lost on the thank you notes right now. I think we got it under control.
93.
93 gifts.
You enjoy your Montreal and your shows next week in Atlantic City.
AC.
How are ticket sales? Good down there?
Get the sun going, will you please?
Of course.
Get the
and
what?
don't be so afraid of getting married again.
Please.
I've been that's crazy
on that.
talk.
No
That's
shot.
like I came out of the nom and
That's
you're telling me to
crazy
go back. No.
Yeah.
Did you ever set him up with a date?
No.
Did you date?
Ant does well on his own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do date.
Yeah. Oh.
Well,
you make sure nobody's interested in getting
Mad Dog
married.
Well, you need to understand. Ant went 9 years and then went 8 years after that.
Yeah.
Not a second marriage, but he went 9 years marriage and
then an 8-year relationship.
A long-term relationship. So
I've been in
now
a
he's
monogamous relationship.
Which one was worse, the marriage or the 8-year relationship?
Nah, the 8-year relationship was fine. She's still cool. I still talk to her.
Yeah,
and
she's
stuff.
all right.
She's cool.
Yep.
But the ex-wife was just
That's a bad one.
fucking nightmare.
You get involved in a bad marriage. It's tough.
We should go out for some beers. I'll tell you some stories.
When you come back.
My favorite Anthony. I know you have to go, but now
No, I don't.
it's one of my
plenty
favorites.
of time. Go ahead.
Me and Aunt used to drive back and forth to Long Island, you know, because that ride's fucking hell. So we would take
together.
turns.
Right.
Yeah. And one night I'm driving Anthony back to his place. We both lived in Huntington, and not the light. Sorry, there were candles in all the windows.
Yeah, candles.
And I'm like, all right, Aunt, this sounds like it looks like I knew, but I was busting his balls. I'm like, wow, you got a nice night ahead of you.
At this point, I knew it was over. You know, I just knew it was over. I had no interest, and it was romance night where the candles.
They planned romance night, or it was her idea to try to get things going again.
Yeah.
And so the candles meant...
Did it work?
And all I was thinking was, I want to finish the next level in Half-Life, the video game.
But
That's all I was thinking.
I go to Aunt, you want to go around the block a couple times? He goes, yeah. So we just kind of drove around.
Just keep going.
You know it's over.
And my relationship wasn't much better at the time. And here we had this amazing radio show, and people just didn't know that our personal lives
were a mess.
I was
not good.
I was
We're
hoping
not good.
when we went around the block a few times, I'd come back and the house would be on fire.
Right from the candle.
That's tough.
I really did not want to.
That's rough.
Did not want to go in there and perform.
And then another time I picked them up, 2 quick stories, and she's on the front stoop yelling and screaming at him, and I'm like, you just woke up. What could you have possibly done wrong? You haven't been up long.
Either 10 o'clock in the morning?
I didn't vacuum.
It was like 9, 10 in the morning.
I didn't vacuum, or I didn't put out the garbage.
It was something. I'm like, how could you be getting yelled at already? It's way too early.
How about you do it? How about
a
you
honey
do
to-do
it?
list? Yeah.
You got a honey to-do list?
Sometimes I do. After that golf,
mine was get divorced. Things to do. Get a divorce.
All right, hey, Mad Dog, it's a pleasure. Don't be a stranger.
I was just I even
Don't be a stranger.
Forgot you were even here.
Don't be a stranger.
Forgot you were even here.
Don't be a stranger.
Let's go 10 days ago.
We want you in studio.
I love you, big guy.
All right, Mad Dog, thank you. Mad Dog Radio, XM 144 Series 123, 2 to 7, 5-hour show. You got to talk to the boss. That's too long, 5 hours. That's ridiculous.
Jesus Christ.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we get back, we got Billy Hayes coming in.
Yes.
That's good. That's going to be great.
Midnight Express.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to talking to him.
Hard out at 10, so we're losing time with Billy Hayes. All right, we'll do a quick break.
Why didn't they tell us we didn't know that?
I think they was up there for a while. I didn't see it either. It's okay. It'll be fine. We'll do a quick break. We'll get Billy Hayes right in here.
The Virus, Sirius XM. This is the Opie and Anthony Show.
We got to get right back into this because we don't have a lot of time with Billy Hayes in studio.
Yes.
What's up, Billy? We were just apologizing to Billy, saying, hey, man, we're running a little late today. And you said it was cool because you were laughing.
I'm listening to minivans and candles in the windows. So
all right, so you're all right.
That was, I was in prison myself for 9 years. It was called a marriage. It was, I think, comparable to what you went through.
Well, I had a 30-year sentence eventually, but I've been married for 30 years, so it kind of balances out a little bit. Yeah. Best thing I ever did getting married. Not the easiest thing I ever did.
Really?
But the best thing?
Oh, yeah. It's been good for me. I needed it.
And then this is the people know who Billy is. The movie Midnight Express is Billy.
Based on, It's
based on him and his life and his experience. And
what happened. Wow. Starting from, I guess, the beginning of that situation, had you been smuggling hashish from Turkey prior to that?
Yeah, actually, it's one of the reasons I wanted to do Locked Up Abroad, because they gave me a chance to tell the full story.
The full story,
I couldn't
right.
do when I first got back. And I got back and I wrote a book. I got home on a Friday, and by Monday I was writing a book.
Wow.
So really strange transition from prison to suddenly being this little mini celebrity and getting off the plane to Kennedy with a press conference at the airport. 100 people asking me a question. Billy, what's it feel like to be home? I don't know. I just got here. I haven't seen my mother yet. It never stopped.
Wow.
But I couldn't, because of legal reasons with the U.S. government, I couldn't write the fact that I'd done 3 prior trips to getting arrested.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because obviously the movie made it look like, innocent guy, just figured he's going to take one shot at it.
The movie made a lot of changes in the story. I'm a filmmaker now myself, so I understand why they made some of the changes. Others is, having to do with the producers and their attitudes.
Did you like the movie in general, though?
I loved it. I mean, Alan Parker did a great job.
Sure.
Brad Davis, he put his heart and soul into the film.
Yeah,
Oliver Stone wrote the script. That was
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he was unknown back then when we did it. He had written I spent a week in the Mayfair Hotel with him, 10 hours a day, 7 straight days, talking about, he read the galley of my book. And being in a room with Oliver back then, like being in a washing machine on tilt.
Really?
You walk in the morning, there's joints and lines rolled out, Bloody Marys all set up. And he was so crazy. He'd actually written a script called Platoon, that got him the job writing Midnight Express, but nobody in Hollywood would make Platoon.
Hey, were
Right,
you
5
still
more years.
were you doing drugs with him?
time of the war.
Oh, sorry. Were you still party when you got back from Turkey, or did you not get high anymore?
I started as soon as I could, actually. But being with Oliver, that's partying. I love him. He's so intense.
You don't want to slow him down just for a second here. I mean, Platoon. He just casually said, the Platoon script was written, but Hollywood just kind of
They wouldn't make it for another 5 years.
And then Ant said because it was too close to the war.
Way too close, but it's also why he was so intense and so angry, nobody would make his story, and that was his heart.
He just knew he had.
It was an odd time for Vietnam era movies because when it was too close to the war, they were really kind of like Coming Home, movies like that, where it was very emotional and not very action based, and then they kind of got into the realism of the war.
Really.
Platoon was fantastic.
Yeah, they did it. Sure. And he wrote my script, and the stuff in Midnight Express, the movie, that's a little bit over the top relative to my story, I think is Oliver getting his own stuff in there.
Oh, getting his
There's a scene in a courtroom scene where I come back where I was supposed to be, I got a 4-year sentence. I'm supposed to go free in 54 days. They changed my sentence to life. Bingo. Yeah, exactly. That scene in there where I get to talk to the court. They're going to, they just changed my sentence. I'm going free in 54 days, and now suddenly I've got a life sentence, which the judge could reduce to 30 years.
Wait, in real life, how did that happen? Like, you were sentenced to 4 years, and you did your time almost. Well, how much time had you done? You had 54 days to go.
I did. It was a 4-year, 2-month sentence and blah, 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 with time off for good behavior. I was counting down the days to 54 days. Then the American counsel showed up unexpectedly. I knew instantly when I looked at his face, bad news. Oof. I'm thinking somebody at home, somebody heard. Not bad news for me. I'm going free in 54 days. There's no bad news for me. But, yeah, the High Court in Ankara reversed it. A lot of it has to do with the fact that Richard fucking Nixon. I love Sirius. You can say what you need. Richard fucking Nixon started the war on drugs, and the U.S. giving aid to all these foreign countries. They pressured all the foreign countries to increase their drug laws, which they did. But the people who bore the brunt of it were fools like me, So, and the High Court in Ankara reversed the sentence and said instead of just possession, which I originally was charged with, they charged me with smuggling, and they gave me the full sentence, which was life. Which I was like the sky falling on my head. Yeah. It just stunned me. And at that point, the escape switch went back on. Because it was on from the first day I got there, and then I went through a bunch of attempts to get out. Eventually, I went to a madhouse. There's an article in Turkish constitution that says if you're judged crazy, they can't keep you in prison. But if you're that nuts, they don't let you on the street. So I went to this madhouse to try and convince them I was crazy, which most of my friends didn't think I'd have a lot of trouble doing. And then I got to Bakırköy Mental Institution. It's a section for the criminally insane. I saw the competition. It was really difficult.
Really hard to try to fake that.
It was madness.
Was it like Nicholson and Cuckoo's Nest, where you wanted to go there to get out of jail, and you realize what the fuck did I just put myself into?
Exactly it. I wanted to escape from that place because it was easier, less than
What was the craziest thing you saw in that?
Scenario. Man, I couldn't even
people talking to themselves.
Yes, I mean, there was the one guy with this big lump on his head, and he kept rubbing it and rubbing it and rubbing it. I mean, it was bloody. It was raw. And the whole time I was there, he never stopped rubbing it.
Holy shit!
It was this broken.
How do you compete with that?
Not at all. I went in. A couple of the outside doctors came in, and I got to do my, why are you talking to me? Am I crazy? And I'm telling him, and he'd ask me these questions. I'd be screaming and yell, "Stop writing! What are you writing down there?" But the bottom line is, they ask me a question, I answer. They ask me a question, I answer. How crazy can I be? No matter what I say. So a little while, they said, "All right, go off." So,
I kind of want to run through it now. When you got arrested, how did that play out?
Just like the film, actually.
Just like the film. So you had the hash on you.
Oh, yeah. I taped it to my body. Actually, the first time I brought it back, I had taped the hash to my leg and then wrapped this cast around my leg. I was working in Milwaukee, and I was in college in Marquette University, doing this child psychiatric aid part-time work in this hospital. Wandering around the hospital, I saw them do a cast, which is this plaster of Paris tape. You stick it in the water, you wrap it. I thought, that's easy. A friend of mine had just come back from Istanbul. He'd brought a couple little plaques of hash with him in his money belt. Nobody searched you back in 1969 getting on a plane. You walk on a plane with a chicken under your arm, nobody even noticed that.
Didn't even matter.
He came back, he told, it was great hash. And he said, it's cheap, it's easy, you can buy it on the street. And I'm thinking, cheap, easy hash on the street. And then I'm walking around the hospital, and I see this cast, and I'm thinking, hash, Istanbul, cast, bingo. So I wrapped it around my leg, and then wrapped the cast around it, and then I clumped through customs, and everybody was very sympathetic. Oh, my college vacation was interrupted by this unfortunate accident, and meanwhile, I've got all this hash in my leg.
How much did you have?
2 kilos, which is, 4 pounds of hash.
Wow.
It's not much. And I made like $5,000 each trip, which, considering the consequences of the actions there,
right.
not much. I should have done it on a much bigger scale, but I was just doing it just for the adventure. I wanted to get out into the world, see life so I could write about it.
It kind of,
surprise.
when you look at the times, late 60s, early 70s, and think about that, a young guy going to Turkey to smuggle hash, it does sound kind of intriguing and exciting. So.
It was for me, and of course I knew I was smart enough and good-looking enough to pull this off, which, for a while, I was right.
Well, that was the first time, right?
That was the first time.
And then you got away with it a second
time. The problem is, I got to customs in Istanbul, and they stamped the passport, and everything was good, and then the customs guy said, where's your doctor's note for the broken leg?
I don't have hash in here.
Doctor's note. So he passed me through, and actually the stewardess on the plane changed my seat. They were very nice to me, so I could stretch out my hash-filled cast on the plane. I got to New York Customs. I passed through. I had my big bag, and I'm clomping through, and it's banging against my cast. Somebody helps me put the bag up on the table, and the customs guy is looking through, and I look up, and there's my 3 friends who financed this thing.
Wow.
Up behind the visitors gallery, behind the glass, screaming and yelling. That freaked me out, and I looked back down, and I noticed my cast is crumbling, and I'm leaving this white trail behind me, which really freaked me out, but nobody noticed.
Yeah.
Off I went.
Wow.
But the second time I realized, let's not do the cast thing again with the doctor's note and the cast crumbling. So I just taped it to my body and put a big heavy sweater. I'm real skinny. Put a big heavy sweater over it and got on the plane. Again, nobody searched you getting on the plane back then.
What is the feeling when you're walking? I may be a little different back then than it would be today, but the feeling when you're walking with drugs strapped to you to get onto a plane, I mean, and you're going through customs, what's going through your mind?
I was very young and very confident that I could pull anything off.
So you weren't really thinking of consequences?
I have one message for all the kids out there who are listening. Do what you like, know what you're doing. Know what you're doing means being aware of the consequences of your actions, because I wasn't. And what I discovered, of course, was the consequences of my actions. I'd get arrested, and then suddenly I realized, holy shit, my parents suffered every day while I was in jail. By far the hardest part of prison for me, the fact that my mom went to sleep every night knowing her kid's in jail. It tore my heart out.
What kind of upbringing did you have? Briefly, like, were you well off? Was your family well off?
Middle class. I was raised on Long Island with you guys. Born in the Bronx, but actually we moved to Long Island when I was 6. Babylon, just down the coast from Huntington.
WBAB.
There you go, exactly. I used to do radio stuff out there at WBAB when I first came back doing the book.
What year?
Oh, God, when did the book come out? 76?
Yeah, around there.
I talked to those guys down there. Yeah. So, I had my life was so easy until I got busted. I didn't even know it. I took everything for granted.
So you were a normal suburban kid back in the...
Protesting the 60s and Vietnam War, taking everything for the United States for granted till I lost it all in one moment, and then suddenly it's like, whoa.
Now, going back to that moment where now you went back, you strapped it to yourself, you taped it to yourself, however you did it. Now, what was different this time, and when did you get tipped off like, oh shit, this is gonna go bad?
First time I had the cast, it worked. Second time I taped it to my body, it worked. Third time I taped it to my body, again, it worked. I just stepped on the plane. Again, I knew I could pull this off. Between the third and the fourth time, the PLO hijacked the first of the jets, blew them up in the desert, which started all the security that's so common now. I knew that. I went out to the airport the day before I was going to fly out, looked, nobody was getting body searched. They didn't have any kind of metal detectors.
Oh, you did a little recon.
Of course, hey, I'm no fool. I'm thinking, piece of cake, I can pull this off. I went back to visit the American girl who was studying belly dancing in Istanbul, who loved to show me her moves. So once again, my dick leading me astray. And I get out there the next day, I go through customs, nobody searched me, no problem. James Bond, international drug smuggler, has done it again. And then they put us in a little room downstairs for a while, which is a little odd, but no problem. And then they put us on a bus to take us out to the plane, which is a little odd, but no problem. I'm through customs.
Yeah.
And then the bus is, and some lady's talking to me, and I'm listening, and then the bus kind of pulls up and stops. I look out the window. There's like Turkish soldiers surrounding the plane with this ramp in front of the... They were searching people right at the boarding ramp. Again, they didn't have, metal detectors.
Now, your initial thought, your physical reaction, everything.
My first thought was to deny reality. This can't be happening. This can't be happening to me. I'm playing this out. I'm way too smart. This can't be happening to me. Wow. But it was. I dropped to the floor. I tried to make believe I'd lost my passport, and I didn't want to get off the bus, and they had all the men getting off the back, and this kindly old lady sitting next to me said, "Oh, there's your your passport, son, right there in your top pocket.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks, lady. So I got off the bus.
I'd have shoved
and,
a kilo in her boot.
I wish. If I could have, I would have. But I couldn't unstrap the shit. I've got it taped to my body. And all of
how many levels of like how many?
I got hash under my arms. I've got hash around my waist, and I've got hash in my boots.
Oh, so you went for a big one.
It was 2 kilos. 2 kilos. That's about all I could smoke.
And it was you couldn't have ripped the tape off quickly?
No, I couldn't get it off. It was impossible. That's why I was stuck. So I got off the bus, and I'm thinking, I can't get back to the airport because we're way out in the runway, and there's nowhere to go. So all I can do is they had a boarding table set up in front of the boarding room with 2 cops here and searching all the men as they circled around. And I had to kind of bluff my way past. And I went past the first cop, just slide by, and I almost got past the second guy. I was putting my Frisbee back in my shoulder bag as if I'd been searched, and I literally had my foot in the air. People say, oh, that's dramatic, you're making it up. No, I did. I was that close to the boarding rep, and this hand grabbed my shoulder. Shit. And this first cop, I knew right then, this is the moment. My whole life is hanging in this moment. The first cop back here, he just happened to finish with a prisoner and turned his head, and the cop next to me looked at him and nodded, you search this guy? And the second guy said, no, I didn't. So now the hand tightens because he knows I just lied to him, and he puts my arms in the air, and he starts to search. He hit these hard plaques under my arms and kept going. And he hit these hard plaques around my waist and kept going.
You're just thinking like, I might get through this.
He's moving down towards my boots, and I was raised a Catholic, but me and the church separated at puberty, about the age of reason, and I hate religion. I think religion is the source of most human misery, but I find myself praying, please, Jesus, get me out of this shit. I will never do this shit again. But again, I'm praying to the wrong God in the wrong country, and the next time the guy came up, he hit these hard plaques under my arms. At that moment, I knew it. I could see it in his eyes. They're out here looking for plastic explosives and bombers, and he thinks he's just found somebody wired and ready to go. He freaked out. He dropped back and grabbed his gun and started screaming, "Bomba, bomba!" And all the soldiers put their rifles down. I got my arms in the air thinking I'm going to be shot. It took him a moment. He stuck this shaking gun into my stomach and lifted up my sweater, and when he saw what was there, it took him a moment, but then he realized, that's hashish. He started, Esral, in Turkish. He says, Esral, Esral, Esral. He was so relieved to put his gun down. All the soldiers put their guns down. Everybody was relieved except me, of course, because it was the beginning of exactly.
What do they do from that moment? They cuff you right there and they put you...
No, they grabbed me there and took me back to a little room in the airport with full of soldiers and cops, and they had a table there, and then they ripped all this hash off from around my waist and under my arms and piled it up on the table, and then I went through about an hour of 2 and 3 policemen up front. They wanted my name, and then, you got my passport right in front of you.
That's a great scene in the movie where it's like, William Hayes.
William Hayes. They have, each cop came in about every 5 minutes. Another top cop came in and bumped this guy over who bumped that guy. Like musical chairs, bumped the next guy, and the next guy would say, name. Like, what the fuck, man? You got my passport. And William Hayes. We did this for about 20, 30 minutes, and then a photographer came in with big sticks and the camera with the whole hood that goes over his head, and the cops stood me up and they piled all the hash in my arms, and these cops all stood next to me like big game hunters with a prize and fixed their tie and fixing their hats. And it was so surreal. I had to laugh, and the photographer came out from under his hood and said something, which I guess is, why is this asshole smiling? So the cop on my right went whap and backhanded me to the nuts, which dropped to the floor, dropped all the hash. But then they lifted me up and put the hash back in my arms. So I guess I had the right look on my
smile
face.
Went away.
It did indeed. And they took the photo.
Damn.
And after an hour or so, some guy showed up, and all I know is he was an American. I called him Tex. I'm assuming he's DEA, but he was American, and he signed some papers, and he actually took me out of this little room.
Were you hoping he could help you get released?
Instantly. That's all I thought. Help me. Somebody help me get me out of here. Yeah, he's an American. He just drove me from the airport back to Istanbul to Sirkeci police station, where the beginning of the processing was.
So there was an American and you alone?
Yes. Actually, he sat me down in the car. He was standing out in front, signing some papers, talking to the Turks, and I'm in this little car, and I don't have any cuffs on or anything. I'm thinking, we'll drive, I'll get by the water, I'll open the door, roll out. I've gone from James Bond, international smuggler, to Steve McQueen, The Great Escape. And I'm going to drive into the water and swim away. And I've got these thoughts when I hear the door and I feel him sit down. I turn my head and there's a gun pressed up against my temple. Ooh. And he says, William, you seem like a nice enough kid, but if you try and escape, I'll blow your fucking brains out. And I believed him. I decided I'll wait a while to try and escape. It took me another 5 years to get out, but He's the guy that said, he told me about how severe the drug laws are here in Turkey now, again, because they've changed them because of the war on drugs and Nixon. And he also said, this is going to be real tough on your family, which for me,
that hurt.
Man, it hurt. I mean, the prison, even the worst parts of jail, the dirt, the violence, all that shit, you could deal with that. You'll handle it. Prison, if you're a victim on the outside, you will be a victim on the inside. If you're not, you're not. You constantly get tested. But the problem is, my parents.
Yeah, that came across in the movie too. When your father comes to visit you,
that killed me.
Did that happen? Did your father come and visit?
Yeah, I'm
you?
sure my dad came to visit, and we didn't have my mom come, which is great because it would have killed her to see me.
Did he think she shouldn't come, or did she not want to come?
No, he didn't. He didn't. No, she wanted to, but he didn't think it was right, and I'm so glad she didn't. It was just hard enough for my dad to see me. I mean, I love seeing him there, and it broke my heart to see him there at the same time. Again, that's
what you guys talk about.
We're going to get a lawyer, and they're going to get you out of here, and but
what did he say to you when he saw you in jail?
One of the first things he says was, I'll punch you in the nose later. Right now, let's deal with getting you out.
Now, as you say this, I see you're very emotional still to this day, obviously.
40 years later. I did this Locked Up thing. This kid, the director who did the Locked Up episode, he got me talking a bit, and he was good. He was like my wife. He didn't let me get away with anything. Brutally honest, my wife. Which you love because everybody's so bullshitty, especially in Hollywood, blowing smoke up your ass. Tell me the truth. That's what I needed. Right. And he kind of, as soon as we get to stuff that was really deep, I'd scurry around and he'd say, wait. Let's go
slow
back.
down a little bit, right.
And he really got to the stuff which really is still, to this day, I can barely talk about it without cracking up.
Do you feel like guilt over it, or is it shame that they had to see you? You still do?
Still to this day, terrible guilt that I put my folks through all that. And the point is, I wasn't thinking. I thought I was so smart and so clever, and I had the world by the balls. Really, I wasn't considering at all the consequences of my actions.
Why do you think the story really took off like it did? Because there were plenty of dopey kids that screwed up and went to prison.
I was the first guy to get a life sentence, and I think the publicity that came out of my situation, affected people. Everybody, when the movie came out, when Midnight Express hit, everybody can relate because everyone's traveled. You've gone through customs somewhere, and if it's not you, it could be your brother, your nephew. Somebody knows somebody who either got busted, might have got busted. After the film came out, I had so many people come up and tell me they kind of like look sideways both ways, make sure nobody else was listening, and say, we don't usually tell people this, but, and they tell me their stories, and they're like a husband and wife, they went on vacation, and they were in Morocco, and they had a bunch of hash with them, and they're coming back into Spain, and they said, we thought Midnight Express, and we got rid of our hash, and we got body searched, cavity searched, coming into Spain. He said, so you and your movie kept us from being busted. It's like, there's a little bit of good balance on my karmic scales. Like,
You're not lying because there's a couple guys right on the phone saying you've saved their lives.
There you go.
So we don't have to go to them because you just said the exact same thing.
I mean, it's, at the very least, it should be an obvious lesson, Right. Don't do this.
The movie, I think the amazing thing about the movie or the experience is it's absolute helplessness is what you feel watching it. Like that's what it's like to be alone and helpless from a place where you're not alone and helpless. Like that to me was what, like God, you like to the horror of being in a foreign country where mom and dad. Because how old were you? 23.
23 when I was busted.
And your parents, your whole life. I'm 41, and I would still like look to your parent. It's just what you do.
They have
mom and dad can get me out of this.
No one has any power to get you out of
No, including the U.S. government. People say, why didn't the U.S. government help? Well, one, I'm a hash smuggler. They don't give a shit. And, if I'm a diplomat's son, they can trade some chits maybe. But there's very little that the U.S. or any other government can do in a foreign country. They've got their own laws. Yeah. You may not like them. You may not agree with them, but you're subject to them. And ignorance is not an excuse.
When you watched... have you watched any of the other Locked Up Abroad
I've watched all
programs?
of them except the new seasons.
Okay, yeah.
But I saw them all.
Because
it's one reason I wanted to do the show, because I'd seen what they... In fact, the producers, the guy who started the show, he said, it was your story that inspired us to do this series.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Right. Now, do you watch those and as it's playing out, just go, oh, shit. Oh, God, you idiot.
I always say, you idiot.
You idiot.
You idiot. Yeah. Didn't you learn anything from my experience? I mean, learn by experience. In this case, better somebody else's than your own.
Yeah.
Man.
Have you ever watched one and thought, wow, I went through some shit, but wow, that is a really bad experience?
Yeah, there was, the guy caught by the Khmer Rouge, or one of those groups somewhere that kept him in the jungles, and that's, for me, the prison was a bad thing, no doubt about it. But you learn, you acclimate. And for me, it was probably the best thing that ever happened because it taught me stuff. I learned lessons about myself. I learned about strengths and weaknesses. I discovered some other inner stuff,
There's a scene in the movie. How much of the prison guard and his brutality was true?
Yeah, my problem with the movie Midnight Express is you don't see a single good Turk in the whole film, and it creates this overall impression that all Turks are like that and the whole country is terrible. It's not. I loved Istanbul. I got along great with the Turks till I got arrested. Don't go to prison, you won't like it. But that's true of any country anywhere.
Sure.
But that guard was accurately portrayed. He was a sadist. He loved to hurt people. He'd come in and everybody would go into this little POW stance. You'd look down and try not to send out any vibe because you did not want this fucker focusing on you. But most of the guards, they were just guys doing a really tough job under real dangerous circumstances, making no money, which is why they were so open to bribes. But they were guys. And, Turkey took a real bad rap from the movie Midnight Express. When I escaped, they didn't put out an Interpol warrant for my arrest. I mean, they were looking for me, but once I got out, they didn't. When my book came out, they didn't. But when the movie came out, they were furious, particularly because of that scene in the courtroom where I get resentenced, and you hear me, Billy, saying, you're a nation of pigs, and I fuck you all. I fuck your mothers, and you fuck your grandmothers. They hated that scene. They were so crazy. In truth, what I said, I've been in jail for more than 4 years. Now I'm getting it changed, but I discovered some stuff. I got into inner light and love and all this kind of bullshit that everybody talks about in prison, but happened to be true in my case. I discovered my reason for being, which is to love. It sounds so trite, it sounds so silly, but it's the truth, and it's the strongest thing I've ever known, and it still is the truth for me. My head leads me astray, my balls lead me astray. I hate religion, but love, that energy here, that's the truth. That's what I know. I needed something. My whole life was about to deteriorate, and I wanted to tell the court something and I wanted to affect them. They got my life in their hands. They have no idea who I am as a human being. So what I said was something along the lines of, I've been in your prison for more than 4 years. If you're going to sentence me to more prison, I can't agree with you. All I can do is forgive you. And that's what I said. And they were affected. All the judges kind of nodded their heads and lowered their eyes, and the soldiers too. And then they sentenced me to 30 years. The judge, the same guy who gave me the 4-year sentence, his prerogative was to lower the life sentence that I got from the high court to 30 years, which, thank you, I guess. 30 years life, it's all the same. And then they chained me up and took me out. And Oliver Stone, he said, he read the galley of the book, and he said, how can you forgive these people? I said, because I was at the Love and Light, and I was, my whole world was crumbling. I was trying to keep it together. And he said, how did you feel the next morning when you woke up? I was like, oh, I hate all you people. That's what he put into the movie.
Oh,
and
okay.
It's not true to what I said.
Right.
And it really... The Turks were, to this day, there are people who said, oh, we'll never go to Turkey because of Midnight Express. Well, no, man. Don't go and get busted. Don't smuggle drugs, or at least do it smarter than I did, but don't get busted and go to prison. But I like Turkey.
Can you go anywhere? Are you afraid to go anywhere because they have an extradition treaty with Turkey?
For about 20 years, there was an extradition treaty that really limited my travel. But again, I really wasn't up for far-off exotic places. I had enough. I want to stay home. I got to go somewhere far off. I go to Hawaii. Thank you very much. But, my mom and my wife were not happy that I still had this. But now that's been dropped. Actually, I got to go back to Turkey about 2 years ago.
What balls you have. That's crazy. How did that happen?
It was so strange. The warrant had been dropped. I've been saying the same stuff I'm saying now about, the movie didn't a disservice to Turkey. It's not a bad place. Don't get busted, but etc. So I'd done this. I said this to some Turk. I was at the Cannes Film Festival, I don't know, 12, 15 years ago, trying to pitch some movie somewhere. And this Turk heard me talking, and he said, would you say that on the camera? I said, I've been saying it from the beginning, but my little voice is drowned out by these images. I mean, film is such a powerful medium. And so he took a little camera and he filmed me saying the same shit about I like Turkey and such. And I don't know what YouTube was, but he got it on YouTube, and it's still on YouTube. And some Turkish police in Istanbul saw this video of me saying I like Turkey and I'd like to make amends. And they contacted me. They had a big international conference over there 2 years ago. They had 1,000 police officers from 85 countries talking about peace and global security. A lot of world press was coming. So these guys invited me over, and they said, we'd like you to speak, and, let's make some amends. And I was the most hated man in Turkey for so many years, and I don't like that, so I wanted to somehow balance it. So these cops brought me back. All my New York friends said, you ever hear about, hey, come to Yankee Stadium and win your prize, and you get arrested for your back.
They lock you back up.
But the bottom line is, the last thing the Turks wanted was more bad publicity from Billy Hayes. So I went back there, and I spent 4 days. I had literally a police escort 24 hours a day around me. A guy slept in a chair outside my room. They were worried about violence against me because I was so hated.
You were a celebrity.
But I was also a hated celebrity because of. I mean, Turkey suffered hugely because of it.
Did you go back? Did you go back to the jail at all when you were there?
I did actually. I couldn't go in, but I was. It was so weird. I was standing outside on the street in the prison from where I could look inside the prison when I was in there. I used to look out across the wall in the barbed wire, and it's a metropolitan, so it's in the city. And I could look down and see the street and see life and people and women and stuff walking around. I got to stand on that sidewalk and look up at the very window that I used to look out. What a bizarre experience that was. I got to travel around the city a little bit. I actually went back to the pudding shop, which was the famous little hippie hangout where, people traveling back and forth from India. There's a bulletin board. You leave messages. And I walked into the pudding shop. I've got my police escort. And when I walk into the pudding shop, a guy in the back looks up and sees me. There's photos of me and all of my Midnight Express stuff on the wall. And this guy looks, and he comes rushing towards us, and my 4 cops go right into defense mode like this. He says, oh, no, wait. Billy Hayes. My father, turns out his father used to own the pudding shop way back then, and he said, you wrote about pudding shop in your book, and they talked pudding shop in the movie. It made them so famous that they made so much money that they bought the hotel next door. They profited from the fact that it was so weird.
So how much hash did you bring back that time?
I wish I had. I wish I had.
That would have been hilarious.
What became of the guard? Do you know the brutal guard?
In the movie, in Midnight Express, they've got this guy, me butting him, and he hits his head on a spike, and you hear that sound effect like.
He's dead,
Yeah. He actually was killed by a fellow prisoner who he'd beaten this guy. They found some hash, and they grabbed this guy, and he was beating this guy, and he wanted to know where he got the hash from. And the guy said, Allah, from God. Because, if you tell where you got it, between a rock and a big hard place, then the guys you got it from. So this guy didn't say anything, and they beat his feet. And I got beaten the first night because I got in a fight with this guy, which... I thought they were killing me, but that wasn't a bad beating. I mean, they didn't break any bones. That's how you decide if it's a bad beating or not. And if they break bones and beat you for 2 or 3 days, that's a real bad beating. So they just wanted a lesson. I was in there. I got in the fight. It was my first night. Let's teach them a lesson. So they beat my feet. The good thing for me is I'd hit one of these trustees who started this thing with me, and I'm not real big, but I was real fast and nasty back then.
Sir, how do they beat your feet?
They lay you down, take off your shoes, tie your feet up with a rope. These 2 guys hold the rope out, and this guy whacks you with a stick.
Your feet.
It's called falaka. It's common all throughout the Middle East.
I know you gotta go soon, but quickly, how did you escape?
I escaped. In the movie, it was like an afterthought. They did something else. It's one reason, again, I wanted to do the Locked Up Abroad. They gave me a chance to tell my real story about my first couple of trips and how I really escaped. I got transferred to an island prison. And I was able to escape off the island in this little rowboat in a storm and rowed about 17 miles to the Asia Minor coast and spent the next 3 days running through Turkey and dyeing my hair. And I made my way to the Greek border and ended up crossing this really wooded, hilly area. And it's a heavy military zone because they've been enemies for 1,000 years, the Greeks and Turks. And I was able to swim across the Montage River. I'm a swimmer, as a lifeguard and a surfer and all that bullshit, so that's easy. The problem for me in the river was whether it's a Turkish bullet from this side or a Greek bullet from that side, I'm dead. But
you knew the Greeks wouldn't send you back.
I knew they would never send me back. Again, they're enemies of the Turks. I just did 5 years for hash, for those who don't know, is pot. Same plant. It's marijuana. It's just processed different.
A little stronger.
Right. So 5 years, it's much stronger.
Yeah, I know.
Well, back then. Now it's not. The pot now is unbelievable. They would never send me back to Turkey, not for this crime. And I knew that. They actually, I was wandering through the woods. It was like 4:30 in the morning, and I was stoned out of my head from 3 days of not sleeping and the energy and the stuff. And I wandered past what turned out to be a little like wooden kiosk, like an outhouse. I didn't even see it. It was a sentry booth. And I wandered past. Suddenly, this bayonet came down in front of my face, and this guy screamed something. I threw my arms in the air. Natural reaction. Somebody puts a bayonet in your face, you stick your arms in the air. And this guy yelled something at me, and I didn't understand him. And he yelled something again, and I realized, I don't understand. I speak good Turkish by now. I don't understand him, which means he must be speaking Greek, which means this really is Greece. I collapsed on the ground with my arms in the air, this big grin on my face, which freaked him out. All these soldiers came running around, and this one cop stuck his watch in front of the lights. They had flashlights. He says, 4.5. It's 4.5 at 4:30 more. 4.5. What are you doing here? I said, I'm an American. I just escaped from Turkey. They kept me in a little room in the woods by the Army base there for about 12 days while they decided my fate. But, you know, I can do 12 days. I was 5 years. I could be 12 days on my head knowing I'm going free.
Did your parents know at that point that you had gotten out of Turkey?
Not yet.
Now, when did you first alert them?
When the American, I didn't, but the American Council finally came out to the jail in the woods, wherever the hell they had me, somewhere out near Thessalonica on the border. And he then was able to contact my dad, who wired some money, and the Greeks actually deported me as a bad influence upon the youth of Greece, which is the same crime they charged Socrates with. Did not ask me to drink any hemlock, which was really nice. Yeah. And then they were nice to me, and they sent me off. And the first place I flew to was Amsterdam, which I knew if I'm going to be free anywhere in the world, it's Amsterdam. And I spent 4 days in Amsterdam, sort of getting it together, and I dyed my hair blonde back there because while I was in Istanbul, I dyed my own hair black. Just trying to change my looks because I had real blonde hair back then.
Try to fit in a little bit.
Yeah, fit in. And, you know, Amsterdam, I got there. I had my first meal on the outside, which was peach pancakes and a strawberry ice cream soda.
And a little pot or what? A little pot in Amsterdam?
You know, I was stoned, tripping on life, on everything. So I didn't have to. It would be superfluous. I mean, sights and sounds and women and noise and dogs, just to be free again.
Yeah,
was such an amazing.
How long did you last the first time you get laid after getting out?
I got home to Long Island on a Friday. Saturday night, my brother took me out to a big party in the Hamptons, and I'd become this little mini celeb because literally it was the thing at the airport. You know, everybody knew. And it was some big old house, and they had a balloon that they were giving guests rides in, a tethered balloon that they would take up above the house, and some woman in a white dress came around and said, "Billy, follow me." And she took me into the little balloon, and they hit the things, and the balloon lifted up above the house, and I got a blowjob above this party in the Hamptons with 100 people down below. So that was my first sex back home. It was very good, too. I quite enjoyed it.
Do you know where she's at these days?
I wish. But if you're out there, thank you very much.
There's a great picture of you in JFK, too, which you show at the end of I saw your thing, which was great. You're Locked Up Abroad, which airs, by the way. When does it air? So we can give the
what day is today? Today, Wednesday?
Yeah.
Tonight, 10 o'clock.
Tonight at 10 o'clock. It really is, because there's a lot we couldn't cover here. You have to watch. It's fucking fascinating.
Yeah.
And there's a great picture of you and your dad in the airport, which I knew that meant a lot to you.
Yeah.
What was the first thing you said to him when you got out, when you were done?
I just, you know, I came down off the plane, and there was some guy saying, Mr. Hayes. I'm thinking, oh, it's police, and I'm going to get the fingerprinting. I hate that ink on my hands. I say, you're the police, I assume. He said, oh, no, I'm with Pan Am. Please follow me. He took me down some back stairs. I didn't go through customs, which is interesting. Had me thinking a little bit. No, let's not think those things anymore. And brought me down, and there was my dad and my brother and my lawyer, and we all hugged. And my dad said, there's a couple of reporters here who want to talk to you, but, you know, we can slip out a side door if you don't want to talk. I say, hey, I'm free. People pushing me around, telling me what to do for 5 years. I'm free. I don't need to slip out a side door. Look, I'll talk to anybody. And they brought me up, and these doors opened, and suddenly all these lights came on and cameras, and there's 100 reporters with microphones and cameras asking me all these questions, which is that photo is me. If you notice, I got my arm around my dad's shoulder just for security, just to know, and I had holding up the passport of my black hair that I dyed.
After all that, what was the first thing you did in America? Back in America.
Well, I drove out to Babylon to see my mom, which, you know, I hadn't seen in 5 years. There were reporters out in front of the house, actually, in Babylon when we got there. Wow. But, you know, I'm free now, and life is good. Life is really good.
And you still do a little of this?
I do as much of that as I can. That's all I do. I do yoga every day. I got lucky. I discovered yoga before I got busted. So I've done yoga every day for 40 years, which pretty much keeps me healthy and reasonably sane. And I will take reasonably sane any day. And I smoke some weed if and when I can.
Well,
what a great interview, man. Billy, you're all right.
I could talk to you for hours.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we know.
I love Sirius because you can say it the way it is. It's just it's a joy. And you guys are a treat. And your stand-up show, by the way, kills me.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks very much.
It's so funny.
You should go down to Atlantic City. He's going to be performing this weekend.
Good for him.
Go to Turkey and try to smuggle some hash, Jimmy.
There you go. Tape it under your arms, Jim. They'll never search you there.
All right, so what's the big plug for Billy?
Tonight, it's a fast. I mean, as great as a guest Billy was, he can only cover so much. Tonight, it is on at 10 o'clock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
National Geographic Channel, Locked Up Abroad.
Locked Up Abroad is one of the best series they do, and this is the one that started it all. This is the original, and it's a fucking fascinating.
Yeah.
hour episode, man. There's not one boring minute of it.
Just to imagine, not even imagine, that it's true.
Yeah.
And as you watch it, you go, this is better than a movie, you know, because it really happened.
At the very least, it's a cautionary tale.
Yeah.
You know, I have a lot of friends say we force our teenage kids to watch Locked Up Abroad because they need to know this before they go out there, because they're probably still as stupid as I was back then, and you know, learn a lesson here.
Absolutely.
Right. Thanks, guys. I really
Thank you, Billy.
Billy Hayes. Right
Absolutely.
on,
Thanks.
As we go to break, Anthony,
yes.
Larry King, you know, he's stepping down, so the boys put together a little Larry King Remembers.
Oh, cool. Yeah, Larry King.
Or we remember Larry King, or whatever. I remember you. I don't know. It's this.
I will remember you.
I'm a student of print journalism, and I just wanted to know what advice do you have young people coming up into the field? For instance, experience, is that important?
Well, it's way up there.
It's way up there. Anything you can do?
Pressure under fire. Done this before. I don't want it to be his first surgery. Applied himself well. These are things I'd have confidence in a young MD.
I'm talking about journalism field.
I'm lost. What do you mean?
How long have you been skateboarding? Some crazy whiplash. About 20 years.
Why?
Oh, it's great fun. I mean...
How important is the board?
The board's one of the main things. The board, the shoes, the wheels.
This confession about how he killed Ron and Nicole, and he worked hard thinking that he was going to make millions off of it. And we snatched it right out from under him.
Are you getting any money, Nicole, from this at all?
Denise, no, I'm not getting a dime.
I'm sorry, forgive me. Ladies and gentlemen, here they come at the Palladium in Los Angeles. The Motley Crew are back. You worked with him on Brokeback Mountain, right? How did he approach that role? He certainly was not gay. Nancy Weiss, that child, what was the matter with that child? Ricky saw the clip. Look.
That was a typical child.
Okay,
so
all right.
What you noticed, that was a typical child, yes.
I thought it was an autism child.
Start spreading the news.
I'm leaving today. All right, now that's not rap. Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. Yeah. Come on. I want to be a part. Come on. New York. Come on. I want to wake up in a city that never sleeps. Come on, waiting on you. You're hanging me out to dry. Give it to the Jew every time. Will you do another movie?
Who's asking?
Me.
For you? No.
Did you hear the question, Carrie? Did she hear the question? Is she leaving? Because I asked what motivated the settlement. Did you hear the question?
No, I can't hear you.
You took the mic off and you put the mic on, we can hear you. Who are you talking to? Hello? Joining Lawrence Silver with us now is Deborah Tate, Roman Polanski's former sister-in-law, the sister of the late Sharon Tate. You ever talked to Roman Polanski?
I have.
How can you have a civil conversation with someone who so brutally murdered your sister?
Roman didn't murder my sister.
I'm sorry about that. Was there ever a time in your life when you thought fear would overcome you?
I joined the Navy SEALs so I would conquer that fear.
Why didn't you join the parachutists?
Well, I was a paratrooper.
Oh, they tell you that's part of the Navy SEAL training?
SEAL means sea, air, land, Larry.
The time I met with him, extremely disciplined.
We'll be back with more. Lou Ferragamo, lots to talk about Michael Jackson.
I got a call from Leva Ali. You know, she had no agenda. She just was worried about me.
So you're talking about Muhammad Ali's wife?
No, sir, his daughter.
All right. If I said Ferragamo, I apologize. He was a good quarterback. We'll be back with Lou Ferragamo in a minute.
As I came out of the grocery store and got my car, Philip knocked on my window and said,
What happened when he got in?
Took my keys out, threw them on the floor, and pulled out handcuffs and handcuffed me and said, I just want a piece of ass if you'd be good.
What did he do with the food?
He put her on the floor, I guess.
Do you remember the movie A Few Good Men, with Jack Nicholson played that incredible part? Well, Stephen Lang did it on Broadway, and he was incredible with that great line, right? You wouldn't know the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
Private memorial service for the family.
Are they aware that this is the July 4th weekend?
Yeah, Larry, I think the point that they have reached the point that they want to give him that proper burial, and it just happens to be the July 4th weekend.
Lasted how long?
9 years, 180 episodes.
You gave it up, right?
I did.
So they didn't cancel you. You canceled them.
You're not aware of this?
No, I'm asking you.
You think I got canceled? Are you under the impression that I got canceled?
Have I hurt you, Jerry?
I went off the air. I was the #1 show on television, Larry.
You were.
Do you know who I am?
Cool it. Life is a breeze. Of course, some breezes, as you know, are 110 miles an hour and get promoted up to hurricanes. I just thought I'd pass that along.
Wow, who put that?
Great job.
Huh? Derek,
Is that
fucking A.
D-Boy?
D-Boy.
Fucking D-Boy is a talented little
That is
drunk,
great.
shitting asshole.
He's a gifted sot.
Larry King getting fired is going to really hurt this radio show. It's going to hurt this fucking show.
Did you see Sam wiping his
Yeah, I
eyes?
see that.
I think Sam was a little teared up about that whole thing.
God, what are we going to do without Larry King to kick around, man? That sucks.
God damn, that was... Well, we could play that 20 more times.
And we will.
That is classic.
Also, Billy Hayes. Holy crap.
It was great.
What a great interview.
Great interview. The guy's...
We got to get him back just to hang, because I'm sure he has other stories to tell.
He has a play or something he's doing, too, when he comes back to promote that.
Oh, yeah. He will definitely be back on the show. So, Jimmy's got a big interview today.
Well, yeah, I did it already, but it's playing today at 11 a.m. on the Boneyard. It's my Ozzy interview. And we wrap it around with some production. I come out and I play songs, but I don't pretend I'm segueing from the interview. Like, all right, Oz, we're going to play
you should have done that.
I tried. It sounded terrible.
So they went with another.
Yeah,
they went in,
we're going
in
to
another direction.
Yeah, another direction with this one, Jimmy.
You know, no, but Troy told me, he goes, you might want to do the rap, and I like doing this. And Gary actually said it's more honest just to do it like this, right? I go, all right, look, we're out of the interview now.
Yeah.
We're going to play a song off the new CD. I like doing that.
Mike Parrish called me. He called me at home last night to tell me how great the interview was.
Yeah, it went well, man.
Because it's through FMQB, right?
And the regular radio got about 25 minutes of interview, and then plus commercials and stuff. And this is the whole hour interview.
And it's going to be on the Boneyard?
11 a.m. Right after the show.
Shit.
Just chit-chat.
I can't listen.
You know how it is, me and my
pal.
pal.
Can I get a disc of that?
Yeah, sure.
MGMT is performing today at 11. I'm fucking checking that out. No, I'm not going home today. I got to check those guys out.
That's right. By the time they're done, I'll still be talking to fucking Oz. You know, two pals hang out, talk.
Sure.
Of similar ilk.
He was very conversational and he was amazing to talk to.
And I'm not messing up your plug, by the way. MGMT is performing for a later date thing, so.
Oh, it's not it. Oh, okay.
I didn't mean to step on you a little bit with because we want people to check out your interview with Ozzy. Okay, good. And what do you got over there?
Well, Opie, you've heard about Beezit.com, haven't you?
No.
You can save up to 99% off of retail.
Oh, can I? They want me to be involved.
Oh, Christ.
Anthony,
thanks.
I love Beezit. Here you go.
All right. I got my own copy now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Here's some tips on winning the coolest.
Can you do the Beezit thing with Anthony because they want to hear your voice, too?
We'll just say this
Jesus,
is your voice.
Enough already.
Holy guacamole.
Yeah, I'll be playing the part of Steve Brule in the Beezit read that Ant's doing.
How do you make sex?
See, that's me.
Where else could you put your apprentice?
Where else can you put your apprentice? It's Dr. Steve Brule rules.
More people should be checking out Steve Brule.
I know.
It's just starting to fucking build. You feel it out there.
It's not any more complicated than that.
Yes, exactly. Beezit.com.
Yes, Anthony.
You got to go to the website, Beezit.com, watch the video tutorials, and learn how to work this thing. They got items up for bid like computers, TVs, iPads, gift cards, even cars. Yeah. Here's the winning strategy from Angela Lemons. She's a multiple Beezit winner. Angela likes to bid late, at night, after everybody's asleep. Angela's a creep. She's won an army of 2 Xbox 360 games. What? She's won an army of 2. Army of 2. Oh, I got you. Won an army of 2. I got it. Now I understand. I should have understood that.
It's not that hard.
I know, Dr. Brule.
What do we have here? The building blocks of shishi. Shishi meat, peaches, and guacamole.
Guacamole. I love the way he says guacamole. Yeah, she stays up late. $50 Target gift card and a soft serve ice cream maker. She wins. She's a winner. Here are some Beezit hot deals from last week. An iPod Shuffle sold for $2. A Brinkman dual charcoal gas grill for $2.56, and a $500 Visa gift card for $18.02. So now that you know some of the secrets to winning, what are you waiting for? Get over to Beezit.com. Use the off code USA. Get yourself $100 off your first auction win.
That's BEEZID.com. Offer code USA.